Hi guys, so welcome to today's Toppers Talk. Today we have Mr. Utkarsh UJJWAL, who is All India Rank 68 2022. Please give him a round of applause. He is basically from Patna. He is a graduate of IIT Guwahati 2019 and he has given 4 attempts, and in the 4 attempts he has written 3 civil service mains exam. Please come. Alright, along with 3 mains of civil service, he has also given 2 forest mains. So students who have any doubts regarding how to approach forest service, how to prepare for the exam, how to select optionals with regards to forest service can also make use of his experience. Okay, overall, to talk about the 2022, he has scored tremendously high marks in GS2 especially, and also his anthropology score is around 288. In that, paper 2 is 157, and 157 is a very good score. So anthropology optional, whatever doubts you people have, you people can again make use of it. Okay, so he is a very well-rounded guy. He has a very good experience, because writing 4 mains, okay, is not an easy thing. Sorry, 3 mains is not an easy thing. Okay, it requires a lot of persistence and perseverance. All right, so try to be more interactive with him. Okay, you people should ask questions. Whatever questions you people think you want to ask for mentors. All right, I think it's a very good opportunity for you people to ask him, and if he tells you directly his own experiences to reach where he is today, that will be more appropriate. Okay, so don't feel shy. Don't think that what sir may think or what Utkarsh may think. Please be very open. There is nothing called silly questions. Be open with him and make it as interactive as possible. Got it? The more interactive you are, the more enthusiastic they become. Alright, so I hope it becomes interactive, and I hope he can help you in your journey for your success. Okay, so with that, Utkarsh, I give you the stage. You can help them out. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like sir said, you can ask anything that you want. Even in between, you can ask questions. But at the end, we'll have a question-answer type session where you can ask questions. My name is Utkarsh UJJWAL. I'm 25 years old. I belong to Patna, Bihar, as sir said. I've graduated in 2019 from IIT Guwahati. Civil engineering was my department. After that, I've written mains of 2020, 21 as well as 22. And for forest service, I've written mains of 2020 as well as 22. So both the exams we can talk about. If anyone is giving forest service as well, we can talk about that. And how many of you have written prelims before? So around 10 people. And how many of you are writing the first prelims next year or something? So majority. And out of these people, how many of you are doing coaching, foundation coaching? I think most of you, right? Okay, so we'll plan the session accordingly. Okay. So we'll plan the session accordingly. Can I write on this? And please be as interactive as you can, because I might miss some things. I have prepared a few things that I will talk about, but I might miss a few things. Then you can ask. Where to erase, or how to erase? Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, I'll start with the structure of the exam, because most of you are giving next year. I'll just quickly talk about the structure of the exam. So basically, we have prelims, mains, and then we have interview, which UPSC calls personality test. How to erase it? Okay. Is my voice audible to you? To the people at back, voice audible? Okay. So, prelims you have two papers, GS and CSAT. GS has all the subjects that we read, and CSAT has mathematics, reasoning, English. So basically these three are the major areas. GS we have 100 questions, 2 hours, right? 2 marks per question, so basically 200 marks. CSAT we have 80 questions, 2 hours. So GS you have 2 hours for 100 questions, CSAT you have 80 questions, 2 hours, and 2.5 marks per question. 2.5 marks per question. Please correct me if I am mistaken. It's right. So 2.5 marks per question, 80 questions into 2.5, 200 marks this also. Mains you have 4 papers. So mains you have GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Before that you have the essay paper. I'm talking about the chronology in which the examination is. And then you have your optional papers. 1. How many of you have anthropology as your option? So decent number of. So you have to write 2 essays. So in the examination you will have this is essay paper. So suppose this is the essay sheet, question paper. So you have 2 sections in the paper, section A, section B. You have 4 essays here and 4 essays here, out of which you have to choose 1 from here and 1 from here. So you have to write 2 essays in I think 1000 to 1200 words. And GS1, please help me, what are the topics in GS1? Okay, so history, geography, society, and art and culture, and 2 very small topics are there. World history and post-independence, exactly. World history and post-independence history. So majorly these areas are there. Art and culture, history, geography, world history, post-independence and society. GS2 what topics are there? Polity, governance, sorry, constitution will include in polity only. Social justice, yes, we can say. International relations and anything else? No, right. GS3 what we have? Economics, environment, internal security, disaster, and one more thing, science and tech, exactly. GS4 is ethics. Ethics के पेपर में, sorry I might use some Hindi words. Ethics you have also you have 2 sections, section A and section B. Section A is theory questions. So basically there are 13 questions, I think 10 marks each. So 13 questions times 10 marks is 130 marks here, and you have 6 case studies as per the recent exam. It might change, but this is what has been constant for the past few years. 6 case studies of 20 marks each. So you have 120 marks here, so it comes out to be 250 marks. Ethics is 250, every paper is 250 marks, essay also is 250 marks, so every essay is worth 125 marks. Optional also you have 250 marks papers both, but optional you have an interesting thing, that optional you have you can choose 5 out of 8 questions. So you'll have questions like 1, 2, 3, 4, that is section A. Then section B you have questions 5, 6, 7, 8, out of which this question 1 and 5 are compulsory, and out of these 6 questions you have to select 3 of them, right? choosing at least one from each section. So suppose you choose question number 2 and question number 7 from one from each section, then you can choose either of 3, 4, 6, 8. So let's say I choose this. So essentially you are writing 5 questions out of 8 questions. So in optional you can choose questions as per your convenience and comfort. So basically I would like to ask you how do you plan your day? Do you plan like hours of study or particular topics that you are going to read? How do you plan your day? Because you all are starting the preparation more or less. So a very big thing that comes is inconsistency. Because inconsistency is a very real problem in this exam, because you have to essentially study for 1, 2, maybe 3 hours, 3 years. Because the exam will take 1 or 2 years. Even if you are giving exam next year prelims, then after that you will get your results. So 2 years. So basically it's very important to stay consistent in this preparation, because inconsistency, what happens is, I like to give an example that let's say you need 70% of preparation. This is the threshold that you need to cross in order to clear the exam. So assume a person A and a person B. This person is a very disciplined, very consistent, and he is very disciplined. So he basically gives 1 year of hard work. He gets, let's say, 75%. This is just a number, and he clears the exam. But another person B, he is not very consistent. He is not very disciplined. He is also studying, but in the first year he is at, let's say, 60%. He does the work of 60% effectively. Next year he does the work of 65%. Next year he does the work of 73%, let's say. So he will clear in this attempt. But think about this. How many years is person A taking? 1 year? This person? 3 years? What is the cumulative study that he has done? 75%? And this person has studied close to 200. So almost thrice of this person. So understand the power that you have to study just once, but study it well, because if you are not very diligent, you will have to repeat the same things, because it is very difficult to study the same books again and again. So just be very diligent, be very disciplined, and you will clear the exam. Talking about my journey, I graduated in 2019, and I gave the first attempt in that year itself, just to check the level of preparation. I had studied for 2-3 months. So just 10-15 days after, I gave my first prelims, and I could not clear prelims that year. After that, 2020, I wrote CSE and forest mains. 2021, I wrote CSE mains. 2022, I wrote CSE as well as forest mains. And in both I got interview call. This year I gave CSE interview, and I skipped this interview because I got a rank here. My marks this year have been, essay I have 118, I think. GS1 is not my strong part for all 3 mains. GS2 I have 129. GS3 I have 81. GS4 I have 113. Anthro paper 1 I have 131, and Anthro paper 2 I have 157. Or interview I have 185. So basically 821 marks, and I got the rank. So this is all about me. I will start with what we have to do. So none of you are writing mains this year, right? So we can skip the mains this year wala portion. So I basically plan to do in 2 parts, for people writing mains and for people writing next year. So we'll basically do this only. So because you have, when is the next year's prelims? Which date? Sorry? 26th May. So 26/5/24. Which date is today? 6/7/23. So around 10 months, 10 to 11 months. In these 10 to 11 months, you have to prepare everything from foundation, because you are starting the studies. You have to prepare your optional, all 4 papers of GS, essay also, and then you have to prepare for prelims also. So seeing this year's prelims, I would advise you to, even if you are giving your second, third prelims, but still I would advise you to start prelims preparation from February of 2024. At max, you can start from January also if you are slightly underconfident, but you have to give 3, 4, 5 months of dedicated prelims preparation. But seeing this year's prelims, I would like to tell you that strategy has to change slightly, because I gave in 2022 and I got decent marks, but seeing this year's prelims, I would have changed my strategy. I'll tell you guys about that. But it's very important to prepare the groundwork before starting your preparation. So I would advise you to go through syllabus first. Give 2-3 days just to read the syllabus and see what topics are there. That's why I listed down the topics that we have to read. Go through PYQs. PYQs would not make sense at first because you have not studied the things, but you have to go through PYQs, you have to go through syllabus, and you have to go through some videos. So let's say if you are choosing anthropology as your optional, you have to see the videos of some people who have written with anthropology and scored decent marks. If possible, go to their Telegram channel and see their test copies also. You are starting the preparation, but you have to do this groundwork because you have to be ready for the things that you are preparing for, because in the examination there will be many things that you will find challenging. So prepare the groundwork first. The benefit is that you will not be anxious if anything out of the blue comes in between, because you have referred to the syllabus, you have referred to the PYQs, and you know what questions are being asked. So we'll start with prelims. I'll share what I used to do for prelims. Suppose I give a test. Let's say I give a 50 question test. And one more thing is that I'll tell it here itself. Prelims mein what you have to do is, earlier what we used to do is, we used to prepare from Feb or March. What I used to do, Feb or March, and I used to give 2-3 months of prelims preparation. But what you guys have to do is just to see the prelims PYQs and see what questions are being asked, and throughout your preparation, throughout the 10 months that you have to ensure that whatever you find relevant that can be asked in prelims, you'll note it down somewhere else. If you are using Evernote, I used to do it on Evernote. I'll make a folder, or I'll make a note called as, let's say, Prelims 24, and whatever I'm reading, even if I'm reading something in class, or if I'm reading newspaper, or I'm reading any particular compilation, whatever I think can be asked in prelims, I'll just keep noting it down, because questions are asked from a very broad area, especially this year. Earlier people used to say that you have to revise Lakshmikant 5 or 6 times and then things will be sorted out in prelims. But seeing this year, I think this has to change. Throughout the year, prelims preparation has to go on. If you are reading something today also, you will note it down here and forget about it. Just keep noting it down so that you have a compilation of prelim specific points here. Now, if you are writing a prelims test, what you have to do is, first thing is exam like conditions. Never attempt a test lying down or just on your phone. Just make it an environment where you are giving a test, like it should look like you are giving a test. After the test, for example, if I, let's say, solve 50 questions from 7 to 8 p.m. then I used to make it a habit that till 10 p.m. or till 9:30 p.m. I'll make notes out of it. Make the notes out of whatever test you are giving just 1 or 2 hours after that. You should not delay it, because the things that you are attempting, this is the test, that will be very fresh in your memory just 1, 2, 3 hours after that. So it's very important to make notes out of it then and there itself. How to make notes, that's also important. So when you go through the PYQs, you will realize what type of questions can be asked. So suppose you should be in a place that if I am giving you a particular paragraph to read, you should be able to tell me that these 3 points can be asked in prelims. So you should be able to identify, basically. It will come with time, but in just 1-2 months you will realize that out of a particular paragraph, these 3 things are relevant for prelims, and note it down somewhere. So if you are giving a test, make it a habit to make notes out of it. I used to make notes on Evernote from 50 questions. Let's say if you are giving a 50 question test, prepare 20 points, 10 or 20 points that can be asked in prelims. So note it down on Evernote or hard copy wherever you want and just close it there. Next test you are writing, make another 20 point notes. So prepare these notes accordingly. What I used to do is, I used to make notes on Evernote. So suppose if I have notes of let's say 10 tests ready, so I have around 100, 200 points. So I used to print it and keep it a booklet in hard copy form. So this is my booklet number 1. Another 10 tests, this is my booklet number 2. Another 10 tests, this is my booklet number 3. So suppose I have 5 booklets where I have only test solution notes made out of test solutions. How do I revise it? I used to keep all 5 booklets in a pile, and suppose these are the 5 booklets that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th booklet is on the top. I'll revise it. So there is the 5th booklet. I'll revise it on let's say 6th of July 23. I'll revise it and put it behind the pile. So basically if I have 5 booklets, there is something which I devised on my own. It helps in active revision or spaced revision, what we say. Our mind works in a way that if you are revising something immediately after, then it's fine. If you are revising let's say first revision should be within 2 to 3 days. Second revision can be after let's say 10 days, third revision can be after 15 days, fourth can be after 25 days. So you can increase the gap, but initial revisions have to be very quick. So what active revision does is, so suppose I revised it on 6th of July, I put it behind the pile, then the 4th booklet is on top. I'll revise it on let's say this is the 4th booklet, I'll revise it on 14th of July, that goes again behind the pile, and after that when the first booklet is on top, let's say it's August, it's 13th of August, so I'll revise it on 13th of August and then I'll put behind the pile. Then this booklet is again on top, and let's say it's 20th of August, so next revision would be 20th of August. So essentially everything will get recycled in your revisions. You don't have to do anything, just revise something and put behind the pile. So actively make notes. Prelims notes should be made throughout the year. That's one thing. How to attempt the paper? You have to find your sweet spot. In economy you will read a curve called as Laffer curve. Anyone knows what Laffer curve is? Tax. Laffer curve is like this. So this is the tax revenue. This is the tax rate. So the curve says that if you are increasing the tax rate, at a particular time you will get the highest tax revenue. After that people will start tax evasion, or they will start evading tax. So your revenue will again start declining, and if you are keeping the rate below a particular threshold, then revenue will obviously be less. So basically this is your sweet spot in terms of answering questions. So how to erase it? Anyways, can anyone help? It's not, acha, it is. Okay. So basically in prelims, these are your marks, and these are the number of questions that you are attempting. So basically at a particular number of questions, your marks will be highest. So you'll have to find that number through revision. Start by attempting, let's say out of 100, let's say start by attempting 95 questions, or you can start by attempting 65 questions, whatever you want, and then slowly increase this number or slowly decrease this number. See where your sweet spot lies. So basically I used to attempt more than 95 questions in every prelims, because I knew that even from let's say fundamental duties, a particular 10 questions are asked, I'll make 8 out of them correct and 2 will be wrong. So my accuracy was not very high. So I used to attempt more number of questions. Find your sweet spot, that's first thing. Second thing is whenever you are writing a test, let's say you have 100 questions. So make a strategy for yourself. So what I used to do is, in initial 30 minutes, I used to solve 30 questions, 30 easiest questions of the paper. So initial 30 minutes you have to solve 30 easiest questions of the paper. And if you are doing that, then the rest of the 150 minutes that you have, not 150 minutes, exam is of 2 hours, So rest of the 90 minutes that you have, that becomes easier because you have already solved 30 questions, 30 of the easiest questions. So whenever you are solving a paper, don't get stuck in the initial 30 minutes. Try to solve, just say, run a ball, we say in cricket. Every question per minute you have to solve in initial 30 minutes. For prelims, as I said, just to sum things up, see the PYQs, see the prelim syllabus also you can see, but it does not help much because everything is given in prelim syllabus. See the PYQs, that's first thing. If you analyze the PYQs, let's say for 4 or 5 days also, your mind will start recognizing things. Whenever you are reading anything for the next 10, 11 months, your mind will start recognizing that these things are important for prelims, and keep noting them down somewhere. So your prelims notes have to be made throughout the year, especially after this year's prelims. Questions are asked from a very wide variety of topics. So whatever you are reading throughout the year, that becomes important for prelims. So in some time you will get the idea that how questions are asked in prelims. So just go through the PYQs first, that's first thing. Let's come to mains. We have essay. If also mains also you have to go through the PYQs first. See, PYQs and syllabus have to be your best friend. Main syllabus, I would advise you to just go through the syllabus for 3-4 days. Just see the syllabus, what topics are there. And PYQs also, just see the PYQs because you are going to give this exam, right? So you have to know what questions are being asked. And if you find the questions intimidating or you feel like you don't know this, but still you have to go through it because you have to erase that fear of these questions. If you go through the PYQs, it will be very easy afterwards. So SMA you have, if you see the PYQs, you will find that last year all 8 essay questions, essay topics, out of which 2 you have to attempt. Those were of philosophical nature. So there were philosophical topics, quotes were given and you had to write essay on it. So you have to make your own strategy because earlier what used to happen, 4 or 5 years earlier we used to have an essay on women, agriculture, science and tech, climate change. These essays were there, but from past 1-2 years we are getting essays only of philosophical nature. So that will continue. But we have an advantage of it also. So the advantage is essay as well as ethics preparation can go hand in hand. That's the advantage of essays of being philosophical nature. So your essay as well as ethics preparation must go hand in hand. Whatever notes you are making, same notes can be used in both the papers. So please be aware of this. How do we prepare for essay? See, the topics which are going to be asked we cannot predict at all because there will be random quotes that you have to write essay on. You cannot predict the topic. What we can predict is how our structure can be, and also because quotes can be of different natures. I had 3 possible structures, that one of which I used to write in the exam. So basically every quote could fit in one of the 3 structures basically. So that's what I had. I'll talk about that, and after that you can prepare the value addition content for essay. What is the value addition content for essay? Let's say you have quotes, shlokas, some shloka, 1 or 2, and examples. Example can be from past, example can be from medieval India, example can be from modern India or freedom struggle, can be contemporary also, from current affairs. You can take a look at the Padma awardees of this year. They can be written in the introduction, very inspirational people. So just go through the list of Padma awardees of this year. Also go through the essays that selected people have shared on their Telegram or channels of different websites. Also you have essay copies, their essay copies. Go through that, and if any introduction that you like, suppose this is their essay copy, first page of their essay copy, that is the introduction part. If you like that introduction, just take a screenshot and put it in your Evernote or wherever you are saving your notes. So anything that you like, throughout the year you will keep saving it. So if you read, let's say 10 essay copies of selected people. Take a screenshot of 4 or 5 introductions that you like. If you like any particular paragraph or any particular conclusion or any shloka, whatever they have written, if you like it, take a screenshot and save it somewhere. That's one thing you have to do. And also be very smart. I would advise, in general, I don't advise people to do the manual labor. If they are coachings or selected people, if they have done something, just make it your own. So for example, many people share their essay content also on Telegram. So if you like some PDF, then you can save it or you can print it as your own notes. So try to avoid doing manual labor, I would advise. But for that you have to be very dedicated, or you have to be very sure that what topics can be relevant, because you cannot keep on saving everything. So just go through these channels, go through the websites where their essay copies are shared. And also, for talking about structure, I made a mnemonic, a random mnemonic. So for example, if I am writing a particular essay, this is movie, this is anecdotes, this is law, statistics, opinions of scholars, famous people, examples, past or current, anything, quotes, reports, or SDG, or shloka, or 7 sins of Gandhiji. So basically I had this mnemonic ready, and wherever I got an essay topic, I used to think, Acha, do I have anything related to movies that I can write? You can add anything, you can write sports also. So whenever you get an essay topic, just try to make a mnemonic and think on those lines, because you will get examples from variety of areas. We already have examples. The problem is we do not think, movies can also give us examples, or sports can also give us examples. So make a mnemonic, be very rigid, but make a mnemonic and try to find examples from that area only. I have some few things regarding essay that I had saved. So if you read the syllabus of essay, it says you have to keep, these are the words written in the syllabus only. Four words are there, 4 sentences are there. First says you have to keep closely to the subject of the essay, means you should not digress from whatever has been asked. Second is you have to arrange the ideas in orderly fashion. These are the words written in the notification. Arrange the ideas in orderly fashion. So it should not be very disordered. For example, if you are talking about, let's say, social things, every paragraph should talk about one idea in essay. If you are writing about social issues, so in the same paragraph you cannot start writing about solutions, or you cannot start writing about environmental issues. So your idea should be very ordered. That's second thing. Third is to write concisely. If you are able to explain something in let's say 4 lines, you should not disproportionately extend it to 8 lines. So be very concise in how you are writing. Fourth sentence that is written is effective and exact expression. That basically means you have to write in a way that generates interest, because the examiner is checking, let's say, 10 essay copies per day. So and out of which, let's say, he is reading the topic on which you have written the essay. Let's say 5 more people have written the essay on same topic. So he is reading the same essay 5 times, and if your introduction does not generate interest, he will lose interest in the rest of the body also. So you have to ensure that introduction should be very impactful. For introduction, you can prepare the templates. For example, basically prepare some anecdotes. What are anecdotes? Anecdotes are fictitious examples. Let's say 2 people, X and Y. You can prepare an example on your own, or you can prepare anything like X and Y are neighbors. X is a rich person, Y is a poor person, and rich person goes to a very big school, and this person does not go to school. He works with his father, something, and you can prepare an anecdote. These are not real examples, but they can generate interest because they are showing contrast in our society. So anecdotes you can prepare. In the newspaper also, if you see some examples from current that you can use in your introduction, you can write. And See, if you see the toppers copies, you will realize that these are the 5 or 6 types through which you can introduce the essay. So basically see the copies and you will get the idea that these are 4 or 5 areas by which you can introduce the essay. And regarding the selection of topics, in essay, because you have to select 2 out of 8 essays, 1 out of 4 in every section, selection also becomes important because you have to select essay where there is no interpretation issue. In some essays it happens that we do not understand what the topic is, but still we try to write the essay. It usually does not fetch much marks. So you have to ensure that interpretation issue is not there with the topic, and you have example, what I said, MALSO ... So you have to choose the essay where you can find examples from different areas. These are 2 or 3 criteria through which you can select the essay. And basically I used to 20 minutes, initial 20 minutes. So you have 3 hours, 3 hours for 2 essays, 1.5 hour each essay. So I used to do 20 hours brainstorm and around 70 hours 70 minutes I used to write. So essay 1 is complete, again 20 minutes brainstorm, 70 minutes writing essay 2. So basically I used to divide it like that. 20 minutes brainstorm will include this, finding examples, finding introduction, finding conclusion, all these things. Also smart work in essay will include, you should be able to use GS data or GS examples very liberally. Why I am saying that, what we tend to do is, suppose we are writing a paper of GS2, our brain tells us to think all the topics that we have studied in GS2 or whatever is in our notes in GS2. We should think from the entire preparation that we have done, GS1, 2, 3, 4, essay, optional, everything, whatever you can find relevant. Your mind should be very open, especially while writing essay. Your mind should be very open. If you can find something from GS3, GS2, GS4, anything you should write. That's why statistics and data of GS2 and 3 become very important, because GS2 is polity, that thing, GS3 is economy and that portion. So basically current affairs is very important in GS2 and 3, and data, statistics, these becomes very important. So you have to ensure that the data that you are reading in different papers you are able to use in essay also. For example, let's say I'm saying status of women in our country is poor, and if I talk about gender gap report in the same sentence, then that sentence will become very effective. Gender gap report I am studying, let's say in GS1, women, the subtopic of women I am studying, but I am able to use in essay also. So it does help. So you should be able to use the data that you are reading in GS very liberally. Second, you should be able to use prelims knowledge also. Prelims, if you are studying very specific a few things, then you can write in your essay also. The point I am trying to make is you should be able to write everything that you have studied so far and try to concise it. Essay paragraph should be very short. I prefer 2 paragraphs per page. So basically if this is a page, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, mostly 6-7 lines should be enough for a paragraph, and every paragraph should talk about one particular dimension of your essay. So that you have to take care of. How do you find different, as I said, Padma awardees is one. Try to see our Prime Minister, Vice President, these all people give speeches on Republic Day, Independence Day, or different times. So just go through the PDF, because sometimes very beautiful sentences are there in their speech, or beautiful data is there, or any statistic, anything you can find. So basically just go through the last year's speeches of these 3-4 prominent people and try to extract information from that. Your language should be simple. You should not be showing off your vocabulary. Simple language, the 4 things that are written in the notification, just ensure that you are writing on those lines. essay should have a proper flow, and as the notification said, it should be very logical, orderly fashion. The idea should be arranged in a very orderly fashion. So if you go through the specimen copy is there on UPSC's website. You will see that there are 11 to 12 pages for essay, particular essay, 10-11 pages. So in your mind you should have an idea. So for example, I made a template that I would write the introduction in 100-150 words, which will take 1.5 pages. Then I'll write a linking paragraph to start my essay. Then my body will take around 700-800 words, which is 7-8 pages. Then there has to be a conclusion at the end, and something which is a penultimate conclusion, which would lead to the conclusion. ऐसे करके I had a template in my mind ready. So every essay which I wrote, the topic is vague. I understand the topic is a quote which is very vague, but I had some things in my mind which made my essay a bit structured. So you have to ensure, you have to control what you can in essay. Make mnemonics here. It's very there is a mnemonic, SPECLY, social, political, economic, cultural, legal, international, historical. I used to extend it. I extended it to science and technology, mythology. ऐसे करके I used to extend it. So basically my essay should have points from different dimensions. So the three different templates that I talked about, one was the sectoral template. So every one of my essay was one of the three. There is a sectoral template. This is the temporal. And this is stakeholder. Sectoral template, I had a mnemonic. Social, political, economic, cultural, legal, international, historical. Extend it with your own convenience. Like you can add different dimensions, whatever you can find. International is there. So mythology you can add, examples from mythology. So different areas that you have, science and tech you can write. So your essay, you have to expand your essay on social lines, political lines, economic lines. So basically you'll have points from different areas. That is the first template. If you have an essay which is relatively simple, you can extend it on these lines, social, political, ऐसा lines. Temporal is talk about past. Past may talk about ancient India. If it wants you to talk about India, you can talk about India also or world also. Ancient, medieval, modern. Then present. What is the issue in present? Then future also you can talk about. Some essays can be fit in this template. I'll give examples from ancient, modern, medieval, present, and talk about future also. Future mein you can talk about science and tech, AI, quantum, whatever new technologies are there. Stakeholder framework is also something. If a quote, you can mold the quote in something which is issue specific. If the quote is some issue specific quote, then you can talk about different stakeholders to the quote. For example, women, tribal, elderly, children, transgenders, different stakeholders you can identify and talk from their perspective. So every paragraph will talk about different stakeholders to the quote. So these are the three templates. I used to ensure that one of the three templates I am using in one essay. So basically in this year's essay I used this and this in my essay. And prepare the value addition content simultaneously. So whatever preparation you are doing, everything has to go on simultaneously. There is one very small analogy that I give. Suppose you have to paint a room. There are two ways to paint this room. First way to paint this room is, and this is very applicable in our exam also. First way to paint this room is, I'm doing the first coating here, and in painting you do know that first coating is relatively thin, so we have to do another coating on it. So basically first coating is done, so I'm doing the second coating there itself. So this is complete. Different blocks are there. First coating here and second coating here itself. So basically I am completing one by one. Another person is there. He is doing the first coating on the entire thing. then second quoting on the entire thing, third quoting on the entire thing. So you do understand the difference, right? First one is doing one thing at a time, completing it, and then moving on to the second. In preparation, I think this is the best thing to do. We should not do this because this only brings anxiety, because you are doing one thing completely and you are leaving all the things alone. Never do this. In preparation also, understand that you have to write 7 papers, right? Essay, GS ke 4 papers and optional ke 2 papers. So you have to write 7 papers. Everything should be in your mind simultaneously. So whatever you are reading, if you are reading something that can be used in essay, keep noting it down. If you are using something that can be used in anthropology or your optional, keep noting it down. You can find examples in random newspapers about anthropology. We collect case studies in anthro. So basically you can find anywhere. If you understand what the syllabus talks about, if you understand what syllabus of GS2 is there or GS3 talks about, whatever news you are reading, you will be able to fit it in some part of the syllabus. It's very important to understand that your effort should not go to waste. So if you are reading a newspaper, if you are able to locate that this particular statistic will go into internal security of GS3, then note it down there. Because if you are not aware of the syllabus, this data will go to waste because you are reading it but not able to use it. Be aware of the PYQs and be aware of the syllabus. Very, very important. Because only after reading the syllabus you will be aware that this data goes into GS3 ka internal security and you will be able to write it down. Coming to GS1, GS2 and GS3 will go simultaneously because this is all current. This is current affairs based mostly. GS2 and 3 is current affairs based and GS4 is ethics. So basically 2 and 3 preparation goes similarly and 1 and 1 4 nahi. Essay and GS4 go similarly. Okay, so talking about GS1, in essay if you have something to ask, please ask. I'm sorry, am I making sense? Please ask anything related to essay if you want. Anything till now, whatever I have said, please ask anything.
How did you start preparing for the SES? Like, how did you come about to think that this is my structure and this is how I will plan it? And what was the duration that you gave every single day? Like, how the thing is, how did you relate all the information that is there, and how did you structure it? That's my question.
Yes. So he's asking how did I structure the essay, or how did I understand that this particular structure should be there. Yes. So basically I went through the essays of different people that have qualified the exam. I studied around 50 essays of people who have gotten good marks. I think before starting everything, you should do the groundwork. Groundwork includes this, going through syllabus, PYQs and answers of different people. Even if you don't understand, it's fine. Go through essays of people who have gotten good marks. See what introductions they are using. Everything that I'm talking about is from there itself. I've learnt it from their copy only. Go through their copy, see how they are introducing the essay, see how they are concluding the essay, or how they are structuring the body. So all the 3 frameworks that I talked about, they are from copies of different people. Some have used the stakeholder approach, some have used the sectoral, some have used temporal. So basically everything that I'm talking about is from their copy itself. Go through the toppers' copies, see how they are structuring the essay, and only with time you will realize that this particular anecdote is looking good and I'm saving it. So basically my Evernote is full of these anecdotes, random anecdotes that I have found in newspaper or anywhere else. So basically I saved it in case I am able to use it in any essay. So basically I have, let's say, 50 anecdotes, random anecdotes, or 20 anecdotes. Even if I am able to use one out of them, it's very good because introduction of one essay is pre-prepared. So that part is done. So basically this work does pay off. Preparing beforehand, it does pay off. With time you will realize that how to elaborate the essay or how to structure it. So basically I am not very good with philosophical things, so philosophical topics, because my graduation was also in engineering. So I made a mnemonic, or I tried to make it as rigid as I can or as mathematical as I can. So I made mnemonics. I tried to ensure that I fit in whatever mnemonics that I have. GS1 preparation, you have art and culture, you have history, you have geography, you have society, you have world history and post-independence history. Talking about myself, I did not do foundation coaching, so basically I prepared everything on my own. These two topics, world history, let's say one question is asked every 2 years, or even if it's possible that it may not be asked. So world history, one question may be asked, post independence also one question may be asked. So basically these two topics are least important. It does not mean we can skip these topics, just prepare these topics, 5-10 page notes of both of them and keep it there. We have art and culture, history, geography, society. Society, if people have sociology or anthro as their optional, this part becomes easy because it is Indian society, women, urbanization and all these things. So, and geography also is there, history, art and culture. I would say history, art and culture and geography, the knowledge that we gain in prelims is very important while talking about art and culture and history, because the thing is we are reading about different dynasties or different movements in art and culture and history specifically. Art and culture, we are studying about different temples, random temples we are studying about, or different bhakti saints, we are remembering all of that. In mains also you have to use the same content, the difference that is there is you have to write in sentences, you cannot just throw facts, you have to write sentences. So that's why same prelims content has to be used in art and culture and history. Only thing that is different is you have to understand how to write this. So last year rank 1 was Shruti Sharma ma'am. If you see her copies, let's say if you see her GS1 copies are very good, so just go through her copies. You'll realize that people do use prelims knowledge only. For GS1, the main masala comes from prelims. I think art and culture, history, main body has to be, the content has to be from prelims only, and you have to be able to write it. So basically go through her copies and see how she is using the content. So if you are going through Topper's copies, see her copies. Art and culture, history, I'll not go into very specifics because these things have to be prepared separately. Art and culture, you have different topics. For example, I read Fine Arts NCERT. I read one chapter of Nitin Singhania. Architecture is the first chapter, right? So I studied that and used internet mostly. Geography also you have to study. NCERT 11th, 12th are very good. You have to study that. And if you do have time, you can go through geography NCERTs of previous classes also. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just go through that. Society has to be prepared separately. I use the value addition material of Vision IAS to prepare society. World history, post-independence have to be prepared. Give 2-3 days and prepare 5-10 page notes from them. It's very important to be able to write it, because the problem GS1 has is you should be able to write the content. Every paper has different set of challenges. GS1, 2, 3, 4, every paper has different set of challenges. So GS1, it's important to be able to write it. It's important to be able to fit different information in art and culture in proper coherent sentences, to be able to use diagrams or maps. So these things you have to practice. A couple of more things about GS1. So basically you should be able to use personalities and their books. So that's what I have noted. So if you are talking about, let's say Britishers were very bad for our economics, something. If you are using Dadabhai Naoroji and his book, just the name of his book, Dadabhai Naoroji and his book, what was the name of his book? Drain theory was something that he gave, right? So if you are using the key terms in every paper, so every paper has paper specific keywords. So if you are using keywords from that particular or making it more specific, so that fetches more marks. So try to be very specific in terms of how you are preparing. Geography, you have to draw diagrams, you have to draw maps, and you should be able to, it's very basic skill, but you should be able to draw the world map. Random world map you should be able to draw in 5-10 seconds. That's one thing that you have to understand, because you will be required to draw lots of maps in GS1. So try to do this. Art and culture also you have to, if you are showing let's say 3 places, just draw the map of India and show the 3 places there itself. So if you are diversifying your content, if you are not making it look very monotonous, it does fetch more marks. That's about GS1. I'll quickly go through all the GS papers and then you can ask questions. GS2, I got good marks this year, so I'll briefly talk about it. There is the section of polity. The static part will come from Lakshmikant. Static part will come from Lakshmikant. You are studying in Lakshmikant different articles, different provisions in constitution, or different some schedules, duties, random things you are studying in Lakshmikant, but these are static portion. In polity, questions will be current based. Current based means the questions will be about parliament and the disruptions in parliament or anti-defection law. Now the static portion of anti-defection law will come from here, Lakshmikant. You will be studying about 10th schedule, you will be studying about which amendment is there for anti-defection law? 52nd Amendment Act of year 85, I think. 52nd Amendment Act of 1985. Please check it, I might be wrong. So basically this static portion will come from Lakshmikant, anti-defection. Now there is a current dimension of anti-defection law also. In Maharashtra or any particular state, some issues might be going on regarding anti-defection. So your introduction has to be very, for this attempt, I ensured that my introduction is very context specific. So I introduced with the crisis in Maharashtra or crisis in any other state that is having. So my introduction was setting the tone for the entire answer. Any static question has its roots in current affairs for GS2 and 3. Try to identify which current affairs can be linked and mention it in the introduction itself. So I did that. Next thing is, so basically you have to, if you are going through the syllabus of GS2, you will realize that some areas or PYQs also, some areas of GS2 or polity are very important and questions are being asked from that. So whenever you are reading the newspaper, make notes from, suppose this is an issue. The issue, for example, is parliamentary disruptions in parliament. Your notes should be very crisp. So you will have the introduction, you will prepare the introduction in your notes. Introduction will be basically the news that news with data. So there is ADR. ADR is Association for Democratic Reforms. This is an NGO which gives data of different things. So basically, let's say it's saying that 20% of Lok Sabha time is gone in disruptions. Let's say it's saying. So introduction is fixed. Your introduction is fixed. Now you'll have the body. Body may you'll prepare the static wala portion. Static portion is from Lakshmikant. Now you'll prepare your notes in such a way that issue or whatever out of it this is applicable, challenges or positives, recommendations or conclusion. So basically your note should have 3-4 points from everything. Issue, what are the issues from anti-defection? What are the challenges in solving this problem? If there are any positives also from defection, why defection is still there in our constitution? What are the recommendations recommendations can be from committees, can be from Supreme Court judgments. So prepare things in this manner. Very, very crisp note should be there and point. Your note should be in this form only. Conclusion also, if you can prepare, it's fine. You cannot, it's also fine. But your note should not be in a paragraph form. That's what I'm saying. Your note should be point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and points not just from the issue part. Point should be from every part. So basically, challenges also, positives also, everything should be there in your notes. So if you are reading any issue, make notes in that fashion only. From GS2 and GS3, it's very important to be like this. It's very important to prepare throughout the year. In your classes also you will be taught these things, but if you are reading the newspaper, try to ensure that your notes are there in this fashion. No, point specific. Any question till this point? You can ask, feel free to ask. Unique topic, choosing unique topic in essay. I don't think here. For example, I'll tell you I don't have internet, but the questions were that if you are not able to identify, if you are not choosing the right topic, if you are choosing just for the sake that it is a unique topic, you will not be able to fill 10 pages. That's the thing. So it's not the wise advice. This year the essay was like almost 80% people chose very two particular set of essays. This was ship is safe in the harbor, ऐसा करके था, and this was sun is shining roof, ऐसा. So 80-90% people chose these two, and people have gotten good marks. So I would not advise to choose very new topic just because you are thinking that you will get more marks, because you won't be able to fill 10 pages. It's very difficult, and examination you have 3 hours and basically 1.5 hour per essay. So you will not be able to complete. You'll panic if you are choosing a topic just for the sake of it. Anything else? So basically GS2, I have noted some things down. Map the different topics that you are reading. See, I have told this before. Syllabus, go through syllabus. I am repeating this thing, but go through the syllabus, and whatever topics you are reading, please try to map it with the syllabus. Whatever topic and notification goes in which part of the syllabus, you should be able to know that it goes in GS2, it goes in polity, border security goes in internal security GS3, or quantum technology goes in science and tech GS3, or women issue go in GS1, population is given in GS1, vulnerable section issues are given in GS2. So you should be able to identify, if you are reading something about vulnerable section, you should know ki it goes in GS2, or this is a topic in my syllabus of GS2. So please map different things with your syllabus. It is GS2-3, we are talking about basically GS2 at the moment. Be context specific, matlab current affairs you should be knowing, because I got good marks because I got 129, because out of 20 questions, around 10-12 questions I started with the context. I started with the current issue. So that does fetch more marks. And yes, so GS2 is more or less this. GS3 also. Now GS3, the economy portion, that has to be prepared from your basic static thing that you are being taught in class. After that you have to read economic survey. If you can, read economic survey budget, not just for reading, extracting points, extract data, extract different themes that are being talked about in the economic survey. So basically every economic survey has different themes. I'll just talk about it. So 2020 economic survey talked about bare necessities index. So it talked about an index. So you can write it anywhere, that bare necessities index talked about housing, sanitation, access to water, these things. So you can talk about it in GS2 also. You can write welfare, vulnerable sections wale topic mein you can write about bare necessities index. And different economic surveys have different themes. For example, 2019 economic survey talked about labor intensive sectors, that India should focus on labor intensive sectors. There was a term given in 2019 survey that we should assemble in India for the world. Like we should try to form an economy in such a way that we are assembling things in India for the world. Right now we are assembling outside and then bringing it back to India. 2018 survey talked about a virtuous cycle of savings, investments. So it basically talked about a virtuous cycle where if savings is high, investment is high, then we will be able to export more, and then the cycle will continue. So these themes you have to identify from different economic survey as well as budget. For example, this year's budget has pillars. I think pillars. I'm not remembering the exact thing, but it talked about different 4 or 5 pillars. So you can say, okay, this is one of the pillars of our budget. So read budget survey, static thing is there, and after that, same as GS2, you have to prepare issue specific points. So economy, why is economy not doing well, or what are the good things in our economy, what are the recommendations of different committees, so prepare things accordingly. Science and tech, now GS3 demands you to be very specific or very objective. So you cannot beat around the bush in GS3 because very specific questions are asked. Economy, science and tech are very specific. If a question is about, for example, last year there was a question on blue LED. If you don't know about blue LED, you will not be able to write about blue LED simply. Or it talked about S-400 missile that India has got from which country? Russia. So it talked about how S-400 missile works or something. So if you know this, you know. If you don't know this, you won't. So paper is very specific, GS3. So you have to be, your notes should also be like that. Very keyword centric notes, very specific notes. And always make notes from keeping the syllabus in view. I have repeatedly been saying this thing, syllabus should be in your mind at all times. Now GS4. GS4 is slightly a tricky paper because GS4, have any of you been introduced with GS4 till now? Ethics? No, right? One or two maybe. So GS4 is ethics paper. Ethics paper, as I said, you'll have section A questions, you'll have section B questions. This is the theory question. This is the case study. 13 questions worth 10 marks, 130 marks. 6 case studies worth 20 marks, which makes how many? 120 marks. So 250 marks. So your preparation should be very keeping in mind this bifurcation. So ethics also, as I said, preparation goes hand in hand with essay. Whatever content that you are preparing for essay can be used in ethics also. Understand this. Now preparing for theory questions is a different thing, preparing for case studies is a different thing. Start with going through the syllabus. This is the modus operandi for preparing ethics. Just know this. Go through the syllabus. See the copies of people who have been selected. Go through their copies. See how they are attempting section A. See how they are attempting section B. If you are doing this thing for 2-3 days, then you can start making your own notes. This can be 2 also, this can be 3 also, but your note should be, so suppose syllabus has 10 topics given, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On every topic you should have some content ready. Content should be, here you cannot make issue specific notes because ethics is not something which is very objective. You cannot write in points in ethics. So every paper has different set of challenges. As I said, GS2, 3 you have to write in points, GS4 you have to write in short paragraphs. That is advisable. Prepare notes on every topic of the syllabus. Notes includes value addition content. You should know, firstly you should know the basic theoretical dimension of the topic. First is that theoretical dimension. For example, if there is a term called as integrity in the ethics syllabus, you should at least Google integrity and see what the definition of it is, or how is integrity different from honesty, because all things are very similar. So basically go through the theoretical dimension. Secondly, prepare value addition. Now ethics value addition is very important. Even now I am telling you this at the moment because even now you are reading anything, try to find if anything can be used in ethics paper. Firstly, quotes is there. Second is examples. Now examples can be prepared right now also. If you are reading a newspaper, see anything that fits in ethics, anything that can be used in ethics paper, note it down anywhere. As I said, civil servants examples are also a must in ethics. So there is a website called as Better India. In the website, Better India website, you have examples of civil servants who are doing good work. So keep noting it down anywhere because these are the value addition content that will be very helpful in ethics. Third very important thing in ethics is prepare a list of keywords. Because in the beginning I talked about the structure of exam. You will have essay paper on day 1 morning, Mains, this is mains. Essay paper on day 1, GS1, GS2 on day 2. So morning you are writing essay paper, next day you are coming, you are writing GS1 2 paper, next day you are coming, you are writing GS3 and GS4 paper. Day 3. After that you have a gap of 5 days, and next day here you have English paper and one your regional language paper, and next day optional 1, optional 2. Right? This is the structure of the exam. Now this is the ethics paper. Imagine this, you are writing essay, next day you are writing GS1 2, next day you are writing GS3 and then GS4. GS3, as I said, is a very objective paper. You have to be very to the point. GS4 is a very philosophical paper. So you have to suddenly switch from a very objective paper to a very philosophical paper. And this is 9 to 12 and this is 2 to 5. So in those 2 hours you have to switch from this to this. It's a very difficult thing, and I have first ethics paper I got 77 marks only because of this, because I could not switch from this to this, and ethics paper was very compromised. Next attempt I got more than 100. So basically prepare a list of ethics keywords. Some are given in syllabus only. Some keywords are there in your syllabus. Some are not in syllabus. So if you are taught something in class, or if you are reading anything, see if there are any ethical keywords. Ethical keywords can be anything here. Bureaucratic neutrality, or good words that you can write in your ethics paper. Integrity, partisanship. Some words are there in the syllabus, some words are not in the syllabus. How do you prepare these keywords? So suppose this is a keyword. So you should have the definition, preferably 2 lines, 1-2 lines. Have the definition. Have examples from past, if possible from current, if possible, or this is very important, from civil services. So basically if you have a keyword called as integrity, you should have example from a civil servant's life who has done something which can be fit in integrity. Have examples, have some quotes that are related to integrity. So if you simply Google quotes related to integrity, you will find some quotes. Definition, example, quote, some diagrams that can be fit in integrity. For example, integrity, we have this diagram. So basically, I am forgetting it. What you are speaking, how you are thinking, and how you are think, and one more thing is speak, think, and whatever is there. So basically, integrity is this area where everything is in consonance. So integrity is how you are speaking, is how you are saying, is how you are speaking, saying, thinking, everything should be in consonance. So basically this diagram can be used in integrity. So basically prepare diagrams that can be used. How do you get this? Diagrams, very easy place to find diagrams is copies of people who have written mains. Go through their test copies, search for diagrams that can be used in your copy. Simply screenshot or make your own diagrams, simply copy the diagrams in your own copy. That's how you can collect diagrams. Definition, example, quotes, diagrams, these 4 major areas that are there. So basically your ethics short note should have keywords and related content. As I said, this thing you have to revise after GS3 paper. After GS3 paper, if you are even revising it for half an hour, you will be in that mode for writing GS4. That's for GS4. Theory portion you have questions. Section A is theory, as I said. Section B is case study, right? Section A questions will have some questions related to very generic philosophical about your life, or what is good life, what is happiness according to ESA. Suppose there is a question. Second question can be about civil services. What are the values of civil services, something related to civil services. Third can be related to quotes. This is a fixed question. 3 quotes are given in ethics paper. See the PYQ, you will find 3 quotes are given, and the question talks about what do you understand by this quote. This is a fixed 30 marks question in ethics paper. So 3 areas are there. You have to understand how to prepare all these 3. Quotes question can be elaborated in a manner like, let's say this is a quote, and it says, let's say, Thiruvalluvar, and there's a quote from him and we have to explain it. So if we know the philosophy of Thiruvalluvar, we can elaborate on that part, or if we can relate it to current affairs or present life, if we can relate, or if we can relate it to civil services. These are the 3-4 areas through which our quotes can be explained. So the question is will be very vague, that this quote, what do you understand by this quote? So elaborate the body on these dimensions. And also one very important thing is you have to write the counterpart of the quote also. For example, is this quote actually relevant, or are there areas where this quote is not relevant? So basically the anti-dimension of this quote also you have to write. So that's how you can attempt the ethics paper in general. Quotes can be done like that. Civil services, if the question talks about civil services, you have to give examples from civil servants' life. You already would have prepared examples from civil servants, and try to prepare examples which are relatively current based, because people do prepare about Armstrong Pame. He is an IAS officer from Northeast India. He prepared a road called as People's Road. So basically everyone will be using this example. Try to find new examples from current affairs only. Case studies preparation also, I think the best way to prepare case studies is see the copies of people here. This is the best way to prepare, because they have done the work. See how they are writing case studies. If you are reading, let's say, 30 case studies of people in their copies, after that devise your own strategy, that how you will attempt the case study. So first go through the copies. After that you will have the optional paper. I'll not talk about anthropology in general because not many people have anthro as their optional, but optional you have paper 1, paper 2. In general, see, the importance of optional is that your optional will give you the service that you desire. It's plain simple fact. GS papers mein you cannot get beyond a certain margin. If you are getting 420, 430 in GS, 4 papers combined, that is pretty much the ceiling. You cannot get 500 in GS. But in optional, if you are getting 220, then you will be out of the list more or less. Optional means you have to target, you can do anything, but you have to target 300. If you are getting 270, 280, 290, which means you are pretty much in the list. 280 means around 140 in each paper. 140 is not easy to get, so you have to prepare optional well. Give me a second. Give me a second. So GS4, a few things that I might have missed, I'll tell. You have to prepare 1-liner, 2-liner definitions of keywords. Okay. Now GS4 paper completion is very difficult. Difficult in the sense because that's why I said GS3 and GS4. This is the second day, 4th paper, right? Because GS1, 2 you have written on the previous day. So second day, 4th paper. So fatigue, inertia, everything comes in this paper. So you have to know how to write ethics answers. For that you have to practice ethics test, 4 or 5 tests you have to write before the exam. Since you have exam in 1 year, after 1 year, try to write a few ethics tests this year itself. Try to write a few ethics tests by November, December. So that after prelims you are in a position that you know how to write a few ethics answers, and after that you can identify things. So basically, right, ethics ka lifeblood is examples. Try to find examples anywhere. Examples from anywhere can be used in ethics paper. So keep your eyes and ears open at all times. Civil servants example you have to write, and yes, your answer should be very holistic. Ethics is a generalist paper, philosophical paper. Your answer should be holistic, which means you should give different dimensions. You should give arguments, both pro and cons. Both sides of the area you should give dimensions. These are a few things. Now I'll quickly talk about answer writing, because some of you will start answer writing in some time. So there are some, I would not call them tips and tricks, but there are some things that you should do. Basically, if you are giving a diagram, if you are, I'll make it here. If there is a diagram that you are making, or if you are map that you are making, so make it a habit to. This is the UPSC paper. UPSC paper is like this. It's also important to understand. It's like this. Two vertical lines are there, and you have to write in between this. Download the specimen copy from the website here. Specimen copy, go to the website, download the specimen copy, see how the pages are there. So basically, if you are drawing any map or any diagram, make two horizontal lines and put it in between a box. If possible, try to write, label the diagram also, but it may not be possible because of time constraint. So basically, every diagram should be in a box. If the question says, these are different points about answer writing. If the question uses the word importance, let's say if the question is a 3-line question and the last part is, what is the importance of XYZ? So your answer should use the word importance only, it should not use the word significance. So basically the examiner, you should make the task easy for him. Always use the words that are given in the question itself. Never use new words. Matlab, same words also, importance, significance both are same, but you should use the words that are given in the question itself. If you see the copies of Shruti Deshmukh, rank 5 3-4 years ago, in her copies you will find very beautiful maps which are there on the side. I'll try to explain. So basically, if this is the page, she used to draw tables here, or she used to draw maps here. So basically, the content is here and a map is here. You can try to diversify your content this way. It's very important to go through the copies of these people. That's how you can understand ki there are 5-6 types which you can write the content. Go through their copies, please. Next, towards the end you should make short notes. This is not the right time for you guys, but towards the time exam comes, you should make short notes. Can I get an A4 sheet page? I'll show you something. So basically, if you have how I used to make short notes, if you have, let's say, 5 A4 sheets, take them like this, fold them from between. So 5 A4 sheets, fold, which means 10 pages you have, staple it from here. So you'll have very short booklets that you can revise, and this is a very handy size booklet. So basically, I used to make short notes on booklets like this. 1 month, 2 months before the exam, you should make short notes. Short notes should include very crisp points that you are prone to forget. For example, constitutional articles or statistics, diagrams, any other value added content that you are prone to forget, make short notes of them. Introduction and conclusion, as much as possible, I would advise to control the controllables. Control the controllables. Basically, the questions are not in our hand, what the UPSC is asking. So we can control what we can. We can control, let's say, if we have introductions prepared for SHG. SHG is a topic in which GS? Self-help groups, GS 2 or 3? GS 2. So, or citizen charter is given in GS 2, 4, I think both of them. 2, 4, dono mein I think. So basically, if you have introduction, conclusion prepared for some topics and you are able to use it in the exam, then you are controlling what you can. So basically, you should control the controllables. Prepare introduction, conclusion of as many things as you can. That will help in the exam. And also, everybody, see, the beauty of mains exam is, so suppose you have 2 pages for a 10 marker. You have 2 pages for 10 markers and 3 pages for 15 markers. In mains, you have 10 questions of 10 markers and 10 questions of 15 markers. So 100 and 150, 250 marks. And 2 pages for 10 markers. So suppose you have a 10 marker, 2 pages, your answer should have an introduction, should have a conclusion, and in the body, let's say if question has two parts, so one heading and this, second heading and this, so two parts, first and second. So your answer should have everything in 2 pages. Introduction should also be there, conclusion should also be there, both the parts should also be answered, so everything has to be fit in 2 pages. So that's why practice is very important, because if you are just writing in the exam, you won't be able to fit everything in 2 pages, or let's say if you have 15 marker, 3 pages, so you'll have to accordingly change, because 3 pages will demand that you can slightly extend the introduction, slightly extend this, or you can add one more dimension in 15 markers, because you have 3 pages, slight liberty. Now, one more thing which I did in mains is you get 5 minutes before the exam. These all things are relevant to mains, but because we have to prepare everything simultaneously, these all are relevant. Suppose you have exam is from 9 to 12, 8:55 you will get the question paper. What I used to do is I used to think of 3-4 questions where I have introduction, conclusion prepared. So if I can identify 3-4 questions in those 5 minutes where introduction can be thought of, or I have pre-prepared content, I used to just scribble besides it, and I used to attempt those 3 questions first. What happens is, initial 3 questions you will have the momentum because you have some prepared content. Inertia is so strong in the initial few minutes that invariably we start writing slow. So initial questions tend to get slow if you are not winning the mental battle. Mental battle means we are starting with the questions which we already know. So use those 5 minutes in before, and that's why preparing these things beforehand always helps. Now some general tips about the exam. This is the last part of the talk, after which you can ask questions. Some general things which are going to be relevant throughout the 1 year of your preparation, 1-2 years of your preparation. First is, use the golden hour. Golden hour in an accident is the 1 hour after the accident. So basically we see that we should be able to save the person in that 1 hour. After that, chances of his survival are very less. In preparation, golden hour is 1 hour or 30 minutes after you wake up. So basically I advise people to start studying after 30 minutes after waking up. So basically if you wake up at 7 o'clock, sit on your study table by 7:30. It's very important to do that. Study for 1 hour, get up and then do whatever you want, but you should be able to sit on the study table at 7:30, because your mind will not get the time to get distracted in those 30 minutes. Do basic things and sit on your table in 30 minutes. Use the golden hour, sit on your study table in 30 minutes. Very important. Second is, if you have 1 or 2 hobbies that you can pursue, never leave those, because what happens is frustration will creep in if you just neglect your hobbies or neglect what you want to do. For example, I watch basketball, I play basketball, so I did not ignore it. You should, if you play something, if you listen to music, anything, just do not ignore it, keep doing it. Family, friends, mental and physical health, these 4 things should always be prioritized. So basically if you are at your home or living outside, talk to your family, talk to your friends, never ignore your physical health, never ignore your mental health, these 4 things. Isolation, you should try to avoid living in isolation. Isolation means not talking to anyone. So basically it is a habit of people that they either stay in isolation or either are too social. Now there is a middle area where we have to lie. This middle area is what? Where we are also talking to people as per our convenience, and we are also going here if needed, here if needed. So basically you cannot be in binary that I am completely isolated or I am completely not interested in preparation also. Always keep syllabus and PYQs. Your preparation should be tethered to these things. So for example, if this is the complete area where questions are being asked, so syllabus as well as PYQs will keep you there itself, inside this. But if you are not referring to them, you will be reading here, things here. You are not reading what is needed, you are also giving time but not reading what is relevant. And always keep refer to, if you are in doubt that this thing is relevant for my exam or not, see the syllabus. If the syllabus says it's not relevant, you will not study it. If the syllabus says it's relevant, you will study it. Always keep referring to the syllabus. Next is, you have to peak at the right time. Peaking at the right time is very important and very underrated also. For example, I'll tell you three things. Random data, I should not say data, random names in art and culture, that's one. Second is concepts in economy. Third is chronology of history, modern Indian history. Now tell me, which of this is, suppose if you are reading all three together, which one will you forget the first? First is random names, temple names in art and culture. Second is concepts in economy, what is repo rate, these things. Third is chronology in history. Art and culture, right? Random things in art and culture, they are not conceptual, you are just remembering it. So basically you will remember, you will forget it the first. Second, the chronology. Third is concepts in economy. If you are studying what repo rate is, you will not forget it. If you are studying it well, you will not forget it. Even after 1 month, you will be able to tell that repo rate badhane se, if you increase repo rate, what will happen to inflation or whatever. So basically peaking at the right time means, suppose this is your exam date. Your performance should go like this. So it should peak. So it should peak near the exam. I have seen people who overexert and graph goes like this. Who underexert, graph goes like this. You cannot do this. Your performance should be maximum at this point. Now how to ensure that? As I said, so basically if you are, this is T minus 3 days. T minus 3 days means 3 days before the exam. This is T minus 10 days. This is T minus 100 days. If I am studying art and culture here very well and not after that, I'll forget it. Even 10 days before it, if I study and not in the last 10 days, I'll most probably forget most of the things. Things are, see, art and culture you have to prepare this. Economy you can choose to do after that also. So basically you have to plan in such a way that you are remembering all this on this day. In your preparation also things should go like this. Understand which things you can forget more easily, which things can stay in your mind more easily, and prepare accordingly. Economy can be studied here, but art and culture has to be studied 1 day, 2 days before the exam, else you will forget it. It doesn't matter 100 days before how well you have studied art and culture, but if you are not studying it here, you will forget it. Your preparation also has to go like this. So basically revision, the parallel in our preparation is that revision has to be very regular, and revision also has to be in such a manner that, as I said, spaced revision should be there. Within a week, within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks, like that. So basically revision has to be in a spaced manner. Peak at the right time, it's very important. Prepare mnemonics. For prelims especially, prepare mnemonics. So there are a few things that you can simply explore. There is something called as method of loci. These things are something which people who participate in memory contest use. So you should prepare mnemonics. You should just Google things. People have mnemonics made on internet also. Make your own mnemonics also. But prelims, mnemonics do help in prelims. Mnemonic do helps in mains also to remember things. Just Google yourself. As much as we can control, we should control in the exam. A lot of things are not in our control, obviously. So we have to control what we can. We can control introduction, conclusion, value addition content. We can predict questions. For example, in anthropology, me and my friend, we predicted questions based on previous 5-year questions. We saw the PYQs and we basically analyzed which questions are more prone to be asked this year. So basically, do what you can, that's what helps. Next is there has to be a mixture of breadth as well as depth. You cannot go too deep in a subject and you cannot stay at the surface also. So basically the ideal thing is to do is, you have to go this deep. Every topic has to be done. A very adequate balance of depth and breadth has to be there. Next is something called as, I heard it in the Man Ki Baat of our Honorable Prime Minister. He talked about a term called as destination fever. There is so much content on the internet, or so much content that is so tempting that people tend to ignore the journey. So basically, if you are here, this is the journey and this is the destination. We tend to overlook the journey and see the destination only. This is very bad habit to have, because what happens is the journey will keep on getting longer and you will not reach there. You have to go through this path to reach there. So basically, don't only think about the destination. It should give you motivation, it should give you positive affirmations, but never ignore this thing, because this is what will take you there. Next is avoid comparisons. These things will be helpful throughout the preparation. That's why I'm emphasizing on this. Avoid comparing with people. Comparing means you should evaluate yourself. You should evaluate yourself regularly, but you should not be very critical of yourself. You should not be in a complaint mode. If you are getting 60 marks and your friend is getting 100 marks, you should not think like, how did he get 100 marks? You should think about yourself. How will you get? You are getting 60. Next time you will get 70. Next time you will get 75. This way you will improve. You should not think, how did he get 100? Why is he not getting 60? That is a very bad habit to have. Please avoid criticizing yourself. You will improve only if you are evaluating yourself, only if you are not being too critical of yourself and these things. Next is, there is also something which I talk about. So suppose there is this threshold of preparation. This is for people who believe that only with preparation or only with the content you can clear the exam. There is the preparation has the content aspect. This is the writing and revision, all these things. Then there is this mental aspect of the preparation also. It's very important to win this, otherwise this will happen. So suppose there is this threshold of preparation, clearing which all people have the potential to clear the exam. So if you are here, you will anyway not clear the exam, because you are not clearing the content threshold also. You are not reading the books properly. Some people are here, some people are here, some are here, some are there also, some are just here. Now I am saying that only these people will clear the exam. Why? This person may not also clear the exam. Even if threshold he is very high, he is not winning the mental aspect. Mental aspect means he is not staying calm. He is not getting too overwhelmed with how someone else is preparing, or he is not in control of his emotions, to be honest. So basically you have to win the mental aspect also. You should be, the mental aspect in general includes not getting too overwhelmed or not getting too anxious. Anxiety is a very important stakeholder of this exam. Anxiety will happen at some point. It's important to control this anxiety. I'll give you a very small example. On this year, GS1, GS2, actual paper. My GS1 in general is weak, because I have not done foundation coaching, and geography in general, my geography is weak. GS1 is the first paper of our mains. So basically we go with a mindset that we have to write the best paper, because it's the first paper. In GS1 paper, some things happened, but so basically the page quality in GS1 paper was slightly poor in this year's paper. Everyone that I talked about knows about this, who wrote mains this year. So I changed my pen this year for mains. The first question which I wrote, I turned the page, there were smudges on the back of the page. So basically I thought my pen is the problem and not the page. I changed my pen in the middle of the exam. I wrote with 2-3 different pens. I tried to understand why is the pen not working or what is the problem. I ended up, I think, attempting 4 questions half. So basically I lost around 10 marks in GS1 based on my problem. I could have improved. After that there was a gap of 2 hours. I thought my examination is over here itself, because people say you have to attempt all the questions, and I could not attempt questions. 4 questions half I attempted. So basically in those 2 hours I had to calm myself down. I also had to revise half an hour for GS2, and I also had to win the mental aspect of the preparation. So basically I did that, and GS2 marks are almost one of the highest in the country. So basically, and GS1 I got 92, which I knew because GS1 was poor, but still if I had not gotten this marks in GS2 I would not have cleared. So basically you should win the mental aspect, that's very important. People might have known more in GS2 about me, but if they panicked, same person in my situation, if he panicked, then he would have gotten, let's say, 95 in GS2 and the game was over here itself. So win the mental aspect, it's very important. A few more things I'll just quickly talk about. Now, in your preparation, every one of you will have this phase where you'll think that this particular thing is happening with me only, or this problem is happening, why is it happening with me, why is it not happening with everyone else. When I started my preparation, for 10-15 days I went through the mark sheets of different people who have cleared the exam. In the mark sheets I saw that some people have gotten very good marks in essay, but poor marks in optional, and they have not cleared the exam. Some people have gotten very good marks in all the papers but have poor marks in interview and have not cleared the exam. Some people have average marks in all the papers, slightly above average, and they have cleared the exam, which means everything has already happened. That's a very important thing to have, to understand, that everything that you are going to face in the next 1 year has already happened with, let's say, 50,000 different people. If you have, let's say, if you break your hand, or if you have an injury in your leg, anything, that has already happened with 50,000 different people. So you are not facing something new. And in those 50,000 people, 10,000 people, or let's say 1,000 people have persevered through this and cleared the exam. Rest people ignore, but there are 1,000 people who have been in your situation and cleared the exam. So it's very important to think that you are not alone in this journey. People have gone through this, people have cleared this exam. A very small example is that what is the record for 100 meters? 9 point something? Olympics is happening since which year? Olympics is happening since 1896. The 10-second barrier was crossed in 1968 Olympics, Mexico Olympics. For 70 years, for 72 years, 10-second barrier was not crossed for 100 meters. After that, every Olympics people have cleared the 10 seconds barrier. Why is it happening? Because the person here knows that this has already happened, people have done this. So it's not impossible for him. If I tell you to go to Mars, it will sound impossible because people have not gone to Mars. But if I tell you to go to moon or space, people have gone there. So it does not sound impossible. Understand that things have happened with people which you are going to face. It is all part of the process. It will happen with everyone. So normalize this. Normalize the chaos that is going to happen. Chaos in the sense that you'll already feel that things are not in your control. You'll already feel, or anxiety is such a terrible thing to have that if you are studying, let's say GS1, if you are studying world history, then your mind will tell you that world history, only one question will be asked, read GS2. If you are studying GS2, your mind will tell you ethics is unprepared, study ethics. If you are studying ethics, it will tell you to study anthropology. So it will not let you study. Understand this. This chaos is normal. It happens with everyone. Calm your mind down and study world history. Don't go through other things. Okay. One more thing is, last 2 points. Suppose I tell you to read 20 pages of Lakshmikant or any other book. 20 pages. And I give you 30 minutes. I give you 2 hours or I give you 2 days. This is person A, this is person B, this is person C. First person I am telling him to complete Lakshmikant 20 pages in 30 minutes. Second person I am telling him to complete in 2 hours. Third person 2 days. Everyone will read. The thing is, even if I give you 30 minutes, you will read. Even if I give you 2 hours, you will read. Even if I give you 2 days, you will read. Ideally, let's say 20 pages, you should need 1 hour. 1 hour you should need. Ideal time to read 20 pages. Let's say revising. 30 minutes is less. 2 hours is more. 2 days is way more. But C will also study. So the point is, your work will always expand to fill the time. Time is 2 hours, that is the optimum time that you need. But if I give you 2 days also, you will keep on doing it. Understand that work will always expand. Time, whatever time you have, your work will expand. So be very conscious and understand that this particular 20 pages demand only 2 hours. So I will not read for 3 hours, or I will not read for 2.5 hours. This person will do the mistake of reading it for 2 days. If I give him 2 months, he will also keep on reading it. So that's the problem. Your work will expand to fill the time. Understand this, very important. Time, whatever time I give, your work will expand. And after a certain point in your preparation, suppose you are starting right now, after let's say 10 months or 9 months, revision should be the priority rather than picking up new things. So after a point, you should make it a habit that revising old things will always give you more marks than picking up new things and reading it. It's very difficult to revise. Revision is the most boring thing in the world, because it's very difficult to revise Lakshmikant after a point or Spectrum after a point, and it's very interesting to read something new, because our mind will keep on looking at a new thing, a new page, a new diagram. You should understand that revision after a point will give you more marks than anything else. So prepare the groundwork, prepare the content, prepare your notes, do your classes well. But after a point, your focus should be on making notes, making short notes and revising it and giving test. Your preparation should go in iteration. As I said, you should evaluate yourself. So when you give a test, you will get a review of the test or marks, whatever. You will analyze it. You will make notes if possible of the mistakes that you have done. If there are some very conceptual errors that you are making, you should go to your notes back. You should read the notes again, right? Again give test. That is the loop in which your preparation has to go. Give test, review the test, test like a test, not in the exam like situations. Exam like condition, you should give a test, attempt a test, review, see the marks. If any analysis has to be done, do it. Make notes if possible. If there are any very conceptual errors that is in your notes but you are making the error, read your notes, again give a test. So this iteration, this loop has to go on. And one more thing is, you should never delay the failure. Delaying the failure means, see, in this exam we all are going to fail. Fail is not failing in the prelims, mains or interview. Failing in your mock test is also a kind of failure. In cricket you have practice matches and then you have actual matches. Fail in the practice match as much as you can, else you will fail in the actual match, because first answer, whatever you are writing, you will write terrible answers. So understand that first answer cannot be the best, and you cannot, I've seen people do the mistake that if I tell them to write 2 questions from social justice, they'll keep on studying for 3 days to write 2 questions. It's the worst strategy to have. Write the 2 questions, see what mistakes you have done, and based on that go through your notes or whatever things that you are writing. Don't over prepare. Like I said, work will expand to fill your time. You can prepare these 2 questions 10 days also, but that's not worth it. So understand this. Never delay the failure. Write test, fail early in this exam as much as you can. Fail early, so that you will be able to justify your hard work in the exam. That's all I had to share. Please ask any question that you have. Any questions in?
How did you analyze the previous question papers and the syllabus? As a very person who's starting from scratch, so how to go about with the previous question papers? How do I segregate them?
Right. So he's saying how to segregate PYQs and syllabus and how to map them.
Yeah.
So there are PDFs on internet. That's what I talked about earlier. There are PDFs which have mapped PYQs in different subheadings. You will find PDFs on the internet also. Very segregated PDFs. Economy also they have.
Already categorized.
Yes. Economy also they have categorized subtopics and PYQs that have been asked from those subtopics. So you can find syllabus and PYQs mapped in PDF. Just Google it. You'll find it. Everywhere it's available. Syllabus wise PYQs. You'll find it everywhere. Take that PDF, print it, and then your entire preparation has to be from that. Whichever topic you are reading, go through the PYQs first, go through the syllabus first, and see what topics are already being asked. And after a point, the PYQ should help you to understand how much you have to read in a particular topic. Because if PYQ are covering this area, your preparation also has to cover this area, your notes have to cover this area. And if your notes have, suppose these are your notes, and a particular topic of the PYQ cannot be answered from your notes. Suppose this is a PYQ that is not in your notes. So basically prepare that part. So PYQs will also help you to understand that some topics are not in your notes, so that you have to prepare them separately. Anything else, please?
Sir, what's the strategy for reading newspaper? How do you spend hours for reading newspaper? What the main focus on this reading? What we read? What will you want to read?
Yes. So if you are starting to read newspapers, you can read any newspaper. So basically I could not get into habit of reading newspapers throughout my preparation. See, there are alternatives for newspapers also. I'm not talking about alternatives that you have to refer to, but there are, for example, Ncert also has daily news analysis. Okay. So initially you can supplement your newspaper with the daily analysis also. First thing is very important to go through the syllabus. That is the foremost thing, because syllabus will only tell you what part of the newspaper is important. But initial 30 days you can take help of the analysis that people are doing for you. Videos are also there. So initial 30 days just take the help of different compilations, I would not say, daily news analysis that people are doing. Based on that, after 35 days you will be in a habit that you don't need it. A newspaper is there, 10 news items are there, you will identify that only these 2 newspapers are relevant. Only these 2 news items are relevant to my preparation. So you will only prepare these 2. Your preparation will give 30 days of newspapers supplemented by any one particular analysis from any coaching. 30 days do this, after that you will be able to identify on your own. But first, yes, syllabus while exercise you have to do on your own firstly. Anything else?
Per day 20 MCQ and 1 answer writing. They have asked the students that after completing a particular topic we are supposed to write it, or it's just that randomly from previous year question we can take it and we can.
It's very daily 20 MCQs and 1 answer. So if you are able to do it, it's very good. I mean, it's very difficult to be this disciplined, but your answer should, if you are writing answers, your answer should be from the topic which you have read. Don't attempt random questions, because whatever topic you have read, it's advisable to write the PYQs only. Suppose you are reading environment, they have taught environment, just open the PYQs of environment and try to attempt 2 questions and get it evaluated if possible. 20 MCQs also, it's, I think for prelims you have to do this here. You have to solve MCQs, 5-10 MCQs, should be in a habit of solving MCQs throughout the year, because prelims is getting dicey. Answers have to be from the topics you have read. Don't attempt random answers. Optional is? What's your optional? What is your anthropology? People don't have anthro here, so any optional, I'll give a generic idea of any optional. There are basic books in in every optional. Optional also you have to go through the copies and notes of people who have gotten selected. For example, in anthropology we have Narayana Amit sir, we have Lakshmi ma'am, we have any people here, Apala ma'am, Mandar Patki. They have shared their notes on their Telegram channel. Every optional will have such people who have shared their notes, who have shared their content, who have shared their test copies. Go through that. Many case studies can be collected from their notes, their copies only. So basic books have to be done. After that, value addition can be done from their copies, can be done from current affairs that you are reading, can be done from different videos that you are studying. So basically, basic books you have to do. Basic books you already probably know. You don't know. You are taking classes anywhere for anthro?
I'm thinking besides also studying.
Okay. So basically, I also, to be honest, don't remember the books. I would advise to read Ember and Number first for anthropology. Ember and Number is a book, just gives a holistic idea of anthropology. After that, there are books for different. I think your teachers will be able to explain better the books, but your value addition should be in phases. So there has to be basic content plus layered way of value addition. First go through their copies, try to find the case studies or diagrams or examples, then go through their notes, try to find this. So only after doing this, so layered way mein you can do your value addition. But this will take around 3-4 months, basic note making, and notes have to be prepared for optional. You cannot just rely on other people's notes, or you cannot think that you don't need to make notes of optional. You have to make notes because it's 250 marks. Yes, brother.
In Andhra paper 2 you got 60 marks more than your previous attempt.
Yes.
So what was the changes?
See, this is also relevant for everyone here. See, in my second mains, Anthro paper 2, I got second mains I got 99, third mains I got 157, so 58 marks gap. Now, here because I did self-study, if you are, any one of you are doing self-study, the problem comes is we tend to find some particular areas of the syllabus difficult. Even after doing classes, you will find some areas difficult. I pretty much skipped those areas. I did not have notes for, I think, 6-7 subtopics of the paper 2 syllabus. I did not make notes because I was not very comfortable in those areas. And there is a problem with self-study that nobody is there to tell you that these areas are not prepared. So even while attempting the questions, I was not very comfortable because I had to attempt questions where I had less content in this mains. This time I prepared notes of the leftover topics. Also I prepared case studies. Now there are some books in anthropology which I'll quickly go talk about that, which everyone is using. In every optional there will be some content which everyone will use, and there will be some content which you will have to prepare on your own by your own research. This content is very well rewarded. If you are doing your own Google search, if you are preparing case studies on your own, if you are writing some novel points, new points, they are always rewarded. So I prepared some case studies by random Googling. I Googled it, I read the abstract of, so suppose there is a research paper, there is an abstract section which talks about the whole gist of the research. So I prepared the case study from here itself. I took the name of the person and from here the abstract I prepared 2-3 lines, and that became my case study. Anthropology research papers. So I did these things, but first thing is to complete the entire syllabus, make notes of all the syllabus points.
So you mentioned that first hour when we get up is the golden hour.
Yes.
So what was the information or what is the thing that you were doing in that golden hour? Was it practicing answer writing, or was it practicing the MCQs, or was it the newspaper? What was that?
For prelims, I used to solve 50 questions. So suppose I wake up at 7 o'clock. Let's say for you guys it's, let's say, 4 months before prelims, assuming this is January of 2024. Every day when you get up, 7 o'clock you get up, from 7:30 to 8:30, solve 50 MCQs. Do it. And till 10 o'clock, make notes out of those 50 MCQs. Finish this thing at 10 o'clock, then start your day from 10 o'clock. From prelims I did this. For mains, if you are writing answers, then you can write 5 answers, 6 answers in 1 hour. See the model answers or evaluate it yourself in 1.5 hours. Finish this thing by 10 o'clock and then go on with your normal day.
Then you would start with the newspaper.
Then after 10 o'clock I'll start with the newspaper or whatever things I have in my daily schedule.
Okay.
But initial 2-3 hours were spent in this.
Prelims, MCQs.
And mains you can write a few answers. Last 4 months prelims you have to do MCQs while exercise. It's very helpful because when the entire world is waking up at 10 o'clock, you have solved 50 questions, you have made notes out of 50 questions. It's a very good feeling to have. I mean, you should all experience this because 10 o'clock everyone is waking up, starting the day, you have to solve 50. And this I did for my second mains. I did this very religiously for 2-3 months. So I had notes also prepared. I was solving MCQs also. See the most psychology also says that you have to do the most difficult thing the first in your day, right? So our brain does not want to write answers. Brain does not want to do that. It also does not want to solve MCQs because it needs to be thought. I mean, brain needs to do active work in these two things. So it does not want to do that. Do it first in the day. Finish it first in the day. After that, go on with your day.
How was your process for
Interview. Yes. So my interview results were declared on 6th of December. My interview was on 23rd of March. Result was on 23rd of May. So I had, I think 110 days or something, whatever, 3 months, slightly more than 3 months. I did it in iterations also. So I had my DAF. DAF is detailed application form that you have to fill before the interview. It talks about your name, father's name, mother's name, your place, your hobbies, your position of responsibility, and everything, things related to you. Basically, these are the things from which the interview board will know about you. They might ask you about this, they might not. It's in their hand, but that's what they have in their hands. So it's a form, basically DAF. So first thing is filling the DAF. So I filled the DAF, discussed it with few friends and family mentor, fill the DAF, then prepare the DAF. So because I had close to 3 months, I prepared the DAF in, let's say, 20 days, and I gave 2-3 mock interviews. 2-3 mock interviews I gave after preparing my DAF. In those mock interviews, they'll tell me about, let's say they say okay, you don't have content on Bihar ready, or you don't have content on your college ready. So basically they tell me a few shortcomings on content, a few shortcomings on my soft skills. Let's say they are saying that you are speaking too fast, or anything related to my soft skill. So I bring these 2 points back. I come home, I prepare for 10 days more, try to correct these things. I give 2-3 more mocks, and then this cycle will continue. So basically in these 3 months I did only that. Gave a few mocks, revised it, gave a few mocks, revised it. That's all I did. Yes, next. Please ask questions, please, I request you.
Sir, while mentioning about prelims, you mentioned about sweet spot and you told I was not that accurate. Can you mention like that?
Yes.
So what did you exactly do to overcome those things? And regardless of these things, how did you improve the scores in prelims?
Yes. So basically, regardless of that, I got in the 3 mains that I wrote, every time my marks in prelims was 10 to 15 marks more than the CSE cutoff. So I was comfortably clear in all the 3 mains that I wrote. The thing which I did was I analyzed the PYQs very well. In prelims PYQs I analyzed extremely well. I made notes out of PYQs also. I ensured that whatever things they are asking, for example, the questions of art and culture, history, these things are never old. So suppose there is a question asked in 1997 or 2005, any year, that can be repeated in 2024 also, because these questions are not old. Art and culture questions can never be old. So go through the PYQs, understand what topics UPSC is asking. UPSC focuses on questions like Buddhism, Jainism, Sangam dynasty also some questions are there, Chola Chera Pandya. Then Vijayanagar Empire, Mughal Delhi Sultanate, it's not very important. So there are areas which are repeatedly being asked. This year prelims was slightly offbeat, but there are some very favorite areas of UPSC, and by analyzing the PYQs, you will understand how you have to attempt the paper. I basically wrote a lot of tests, and through test I realized that if I attempt 75 questions I am not getting good marks. If I am attempting 85 questions also I am not getting good marks. If I am attempting 95 questions then my marks are peaking. So basically I did mistakes, I did a lot of mistakes, silly mistakes, and I could not improve it even till the end, but you have to do other things to ensure that you are at least performing to your best. Go through the PYQs, it's very important to read the PYQs and attempt a lot of tests.
How to deal with CSAT? Because now many years CSAT will be
So CSAT, if you have engineering background, if you have non-engineering background, so this is slightly difficult I understand. Even for engineering background people it can get tricky. Basically CSAT is also in my understanding maths only. So you have to understand that there are 80 questions and you have to get 66.67 marks. So essentially you have to attempt, I think 27 questions have to be effectively correct. 27 into 2.5 is around 66, 67. Okay. So you have to make 27 net correct questions. So basically your entire strategy has to be around this. I have seen people who have attempted 33 questions. So you are not leaving any scope for doing wrong. If you are attempting 30 questions, even if you are doing 4 questions wrong, you are gone. So first understand the mathematics behind CSAT. Second is there are questions on hardcore mathematics. There are questions on reasoning. And there are questions on RC or maths, English. So if you are someone from non-mathematical background, target these two, and maths may selectively target areas. There will be questions from permutation combination that will be very difficult to solve if you are not in touch with maths. So if there are, let's say, 10 questions of permutation and combination, identify the 3 easiest questions out of those 10 and solve those 3 questions. There will be 3 questions that you will be able to solve. So never try to solve questions that you are not sure that you will be able to solve. I have seen people who have started the paper by solving very tough maths questions. So CSAT, may you have 80 questions in 120 hours, 120 minutes, sorry. So you have how many minutes per question? 1 point something minutes, right? So slightly more than 1 minute per question. I have seen people who have started with a very tough maths question, gave 4 minutes to it, could not solve it. Now see the problem. Your mind will tell you that you have taken 4 minutes for this question, panic will set in, and if you are not able to get to the answer, your mind will tell you to mark anything because you have given 4 minutes to it. So you will mark whatever you find is correct. So basically, let's say you mark B, and if it gets wrong, CSAT may negative marking is also more because 1/3 of 2.5 marks is there. So negative marking is also more. You are taking more time also. You are doing wrong also. Next question when you go, you are also in a panic mode. So basically identify the easy questions. CSAT is a game where you have to identify the easy questions, do only those and come back. You don't have to touch the maths tough questions also anyways. So don't touch tough questions, solve the easy questions and come back. And that's the whole strategy.
So will you elaborate your revision strategy?
Prelims or mains? So mains revision strategy. First thing is you have to make notes. That has to be there. Notes have to incorporate the static concepts that are there. Your notes have to be there. If you are doing classes, that part will be taken care of. Second is you have to prepare the value addition content. Value addition is paper specific. For example, for polity, value addition can include Supreme Court cases, can include articles, can include committees, can include committees, can include reports, law commission, whatever things that you can find. Value addition is paper specific. So every paper has separate set of value addition that should also be there with you. Now when you have these two things, then your revision will happen. So basically while revising, I try to ensure that I am testing what I am revising also. So if I revise a particular thing, then I used to write test. Let's plan it reverse. If you have a test of a particular topic, I used to revise that thing, let's say, because I understand that work will expand to fill time, that what I told before. So basically I thought to myself that this particular section of syllabus will take, let's say, 5 hours of revision, not more than that. I'll assess this myself. I will give 5 hours of revision before this test and will give the test. After that, from the test, whatever shortcomings that I understand, I'll again revise this. Revision has to be, as I said, you have, let's say, 10 pages of notes for revision. Initial revisions may you have to read all the 10 pages, but after that you have to highlight the things that you think are important. You have to highlight the keywords, so that the next revision your eye should only go to the highlighted portion. So basically initial revisions will be very elaborate, will be very comprehensive, but after a point make it a note to highlight portions in your notes, highlight them or underline them, write keywords. Or if you are writing, let's say this is a note on anti-defection law, so if you have any value addition content, write it in very small letters here itself, write the Supreme Court case here itself. If you are writing about parliament, write here itself the articles which are needed. So value addition content also you can scribble it beside your notes only. So basically your revision should be in a way that you are integrating different things in your mind. So if you are reading about parliament, back of the mind you should be thinking about different things that you know about parliament. Do you know about the article? Do you know about Supreme Court cases? Do you know about reports? So everything you should think in back of your mind. So that's how your revision has to be in a very integrated manner.
Congrats and wish you a successful career.
Can you please be loud? Thank you so much. Bye.
So, the next strategy we have to start like complete GS1 and then go for GS2, or randomly choose any like seriously quality.
You are doing your classes?
Yes, here.
So basically stick to what the course curriculum is. If they are teaching whatever they are teaching, try to ensure that you are on pace with them. You should not lag behind, because if they are in class number 10 and you are stuck in class number 4, then even if they are in class number 70, you will be class number 64. So you always be behind. So try to be on pace with your classes, and whatever they are teaching, revise that. So basically your class note should be there. It's very difficult to revise the class notes, I understand, because you are doing classes also and you have to revise also. It gets difficult, but try to ensure that you are giving 1 hour of revision of class notes on the same day, or even in next 7 days you are just picking up the same thing and revising it again. Next 15 days you are revising it again. It gets very difficult. That's why I said write on top of the booklet the day on which you are revising, because it gets easier to understand that this was revised 10 days before, so I have to revise it again and again. What was your question? I forgot.
Like in GS, it's society, history, and art and culture. Like we have to complete all those and then go to the GS2 or
Now whatever your teacher is teaching, that's why it's very tricky question. That's why I'm not able to answer, because if you keep on doing too many things, you will not understand anything. If you are reading GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, everything all at once, you will not be able to understand. That's why the classes will be in a very structured manner, I believe. They are teaching something and they will probably tell you also that this is something which can be used in GS3 also, which can be used in GS4 also. So they will link things. So it's very, at max you should study 2 things at one time. Even in a day I would advise study 2 things, not more than that, not less than that. You should not study just one thing the entire day, because that will get monotonous and after a point you will not understand anything. But 2 things you should study in a day, 2 topics you can pick, and understand that if you are studying world history, it will take just 2 days, hours. It will take, let's say, 15 hours of study. So 2 days of 7.5 hours, or 3 days of 5 hours. So understand what time any topic deserves, and after that. But while you are doing classes, just stick to the class syllabus, class timings. If you try to improvise in that, then you'll be behind. So just do the 4-5 months of class wala timing.
So, sir, you are suggesting that what happens in the coaching center, what happens during the class, once we go home, we need to revise that and make notes on that and be thorough with what has happened today. So is that the way we execute the day that we have in the best manner, or what are the things that I can add to that?
The thing is, when you are doing classes, you won't get much time to do a lot of things. So it will get difficult to just stay on track with the class only. So if you're doing 3 hours classes, or if you're doing, let's say, 2 classes, optional classes also, then you won't get much time to read on your own. So even if you are doing the syllabus, even if you are doing the class notes of that day, or just understanding what next day sir will teach, that will suffice only. 3, 4, 5 months of this hard work, if you do properly, your notes will be made, class notes will be made. After that you can improvise, after that you can collect value addition, revise, everything will come after that. But
upon 90, 120 days, we tend to get some amount of clarity.
exactly.
So it needs that much time.
These 3, 4, 5 months of classes will be very chaotic, because you won't understand what is being taught, or what am I doing, because I'm just scribbling notes. But after a certain amount of time, you'll thank yourself, because your notes will be ready of every topic. For example, I still don't have notes of geography. I've written 3 months, I don't have notes, because I could not study on my own. If they are teaching something, you should have notes ready. So that is the benefit of doing classes.
So you appeared 3 times, right?
3 mains.
3 means. Did you ever feel that what am I doing, and how did you come out of that mindset?
Yes, good question. What am I doing in terms of preparation or life?
Both. No, I mean, you went failure after failure. How did you assess yourself? How did you come to a point where you made peace with it, and you stepped forward and you reached the success where you are today?
Yes. First thing is that even if someone is not clearing prelims, we should not call it a failure. We should say that he missed the cutoff, or failure word should not be assigned to any stage. I'm telling you all, don't use the word failure in preparation anywhere. Even if you are not able to clear prelims once or twice, failure word should not be there. Next is, in my case, I was writing prelims and mains every year. So basically, next prelims was only 3 months away. So basically, I did not get much time to think about anything else. I wrote first mains, I had marks in 660s. Second mains, I had marks in I think 710s. Third mains, I had 821. So basically, I had areas. I knew about areas where I had to improve, because 660s marks, I knew ethics is weak, optional is weak. Next time I improved ethics and optional paper 1, I knew ethics optional paper 2 is weak. So I improved optional paper 2. So basically I did not get much time. But even if you are not able to clear prelims in any stage, even if that happens, you should not call it a failure, because everything has to teach you something at a point. If you are not able to take it positively, then that will be a problem. Be a bit loud, please. Yes. It's very difficult. I mean, difficult in the sense you should understand first that this is normal. That's what I am saying. Acceptance is a very important thing in this preparation that you all need to have. If we don't accept that things will be out of our control, we will get anxious, or we will think that things are getting out of control. How will I handle it? First, understand that chaos will be there. In examination, things will be out of your control. In my first prelims, I distinctly remember, in my first prelims, I was in this seat, a girl was on a seat behind me, and there was a table fan here, and it was making a lot of noise. So I should have been more assertive, but I requested this girl to please switch off this fan because it is making a lot of noise. Please, I use the word please switch off the fan, and she said no, I won't. Simply this. So first prelims was this. So basically my entire 5-10 minutes my brain was shut down. that my prelims is gone. But prelims is not gone, because this thing will not affect your performance if you don't let it to. And I got 120s in that prelims. So you should understand, and basically this you will learn throughout your preparation. Throughout your preparation you will have bad days, and on your bad days, if you are able to study for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, that will give you the motivation when the time comes actually. Because if you are able to handle your bad moments well throughout the preparation, that will be the best source of motivation when you actually need it. So basically in my GS1, GS2 break, I thought of this moment. I remembered that I have surpassed all the hardships in my preparation, and I would not let one paper affect my 1 year of preparation. So I thought to myself this. So you have to do this. My Ncert should be very, very clear. Your attitude should be like that. Even if there is one seat, it's mine. So that's the entire thing that you should think. And one more thing is that, suppose, imagine this is a building, 3-floor building, and you are here on the 3rd floor. That's the only gate, and the building is burning. The building is burning. You are on the 3rd floor. Only gate is here. Here are the stairs. So basically, this is us in preparation. This is me. This is you in preparation. This is the gate to selection. So this is prelims, mains, interview. That's the only way to get down. You cannot sit here in the corner and think that, oh, why is the building burning? What am I going to do? You cannot do that, because the fire will come to you after a point. So decision fatigue you should never have in this preparation. Decision fatigue is that I'll keep on deciding for 3 days what am I going to read, or I keep on postponing the test. Decision fatigue. You should never have decision fatigue. Decide what you have to do and do it. If you do it wrong, you'll see the mistakes, you'll prepare it again. But decision fatigue should not be there. You have to climb down from that path only. So understand that your mentality should be very clear, that I'll come down from here, I'll go down from here. I will not sit in the corner and cry. He is asking that in preparation you will sometimes feel that you should quit the preparation, or if your friend is doing well, then you might think that he is doing well, I should also think about other things. So first is the motivation to prepare should be your own. If it is from someone जो कि आपको पहले किसी और ने बोला है, नहीं आपको नहीं बोल रहा, in general अगर किसी और ने किसी को बोला है, तो that fades away very quickly. That motivation, after 1 2 setbacks, you will quit if someone else is telling you to study. First is that. Second is you should understand what helps your brain, what does not help your brain. If social media helps your brain, use it. If it does not, deactivate it. So you should be very selfish in this preparation. If a particular friend is giving only negative things to you, you should tell him upfront. Means you should be very selfish what you are doing. I deactivated social media because I understood that even if I am mentally strong, I cannot let things affect on a daily basis. If I scroll something and I see it, I cannot let it affect me. So basically I did that. And your marks, your performance, these things will give you the daily motivation that you need. That's why I told to evaluate on a regular basis. If you are not evaluating, if you keep on studying, तो बहुत जल्दी लगेगा कि कर क्या रहे हैं. Very quickly you'll realize what am I doing with my life, because you just keep on turning pages. Evaluate your performance, write, test, give. Evaluate yourself. I missed a point. Your mark should be the most biggest motivation. I missed a point. Never mind. थोड़ा लाउड भाई.
बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि बस एनसीईआरटी फॉलो करना चाहिए, बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि एनसीईआरटी का स्टैंडर्ड कुछ टॉपिक एनसीईआरटी में अच्छे से दिया हुआ रहता है, कुछ टॉपिक स्टैंडर्ड में अच्छे से दिया हुआ है, तो हम लोग उससे लोग प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए, फॉलो
NCRT will not be sufficient in coming years. It's very important to understand. NCRT will not, it may be necessary, but it's not sufficient. So NCRT you should read just to make your concepts slightly clear. Initial NCRTs you should read, but after a point you have to read standard books. And even after standard books, people are going one step further. Standard books ke aage, they are using the internet wisely. They are using the free resources available on the internet. PDFs, free articles there. So this will also not be sufficient. You should go one step further. Basic यहाँ से बनेगा. After that, standard books will give you the notes and everything else, conceptual clarity. After that, you have to do this part. Most people are not doing. Most people don't do because this require very active efforts to just go through the internet, collect things that are important for you. So 3-step में जाना है. 3-step process is there. Yes. Forest mains preparation. Yes. So forest services is how many of you are eligible for forest service? Do you know the eligibility for forest service? No. Forest service, just check the eligibility. I think all engineering graduates are eligible. Humanities graduates, एक बार check कर लेना. Forest services eligibility. Forest service is also an all India service. Forest services has 2 optionals. For example, the most famous optionals are forestry and geology. So you'll have paper 1, you'll have paper 2, you'll have paper 1, you'll have paper 2. So you'll have 2 optionals, 4 papers. Basically prelims of civil services and forest services both are same. So let's say the cutoff of civil services is 88 marks in prelims. Forest service cutoff will be 98 marks. 10 marks more. 10, 12 marks more, that's the general trend. So this is CSE, this is IFOS. Prelims is same, but cutoff is more. 500, 600 people के around write forest service का prelims, forest service का mains. After that, IFOS mains is different. IFOS mains में you have one paper called as GK. That GK paper encompasses all your 3 GS papers. So there will be questions from art and culture, history, polity, economy, science and tech, everything in this GK paper. And there will be an English paper. That is these 2 papers are compulsory. English paper asks you to write essay, letter, and grammar. 50 marks grammar is also there. English. And next are your 2 optional 1, optional 2. 2 papers here, 2 papers here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So basically, in general, GK paper will be done because you are reading for civil services also. So GK paper you will be able to write. English also you can prepare for 1-2 days and do it. Optional also is. So for example, civil services prelims is, let's say, in September. Forest service mains, CSE mains. Forest service mains will be in November. So you will get around a 60 days gap between civil services mains and forest service mains. And for people like me, for example, I had to prepare 2 new optionals in this 2-month gap. And it is possible to prepare because you do not need very high level of knowledge, and people who are giving forest mains, they are also in the same boat as you. So nobody is a forestry graduate, nobody is a geology graduate. So they all are preparing in this 2-month only. So basically in this 2 month it is possible to prepare things. And yes, the most important thing in forest service is to clear prelims, because if you are clearing prelims of forest, I think you are 50% in the race, because it's very probable that you will get selected. So, but it's also difficult to clear forest prelims because the cutoff is 10 marks more than CSE, around 10 marks more. So if you prepare prelims well, then it's very possible to clear forest also. Forestry geology is the optional which is most people take. If one optional is common, see the optionals of forest. Humanities optional are not there. For example, anthro is not there in forest, but agriculture engineering is there, agriculture is there, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, these all are there. So basically if you have one optional common in CSE and forest, then you have to prepare only one optional in the 2 months. Then it gets even more easy for you to clear. So that's how it is. Join a test series, right time to join. Right time to join a test series for prelims or mains. So basically if you are writing next year, I generally would advise you to write 5-6 tests by December of this year. People would tell you to, because from Jan 2024 you will be in prelims mode. Jan Feb के बाद तो you will be in prelims mode. Prelims is in May, right? May या June. After that mains is in September होगा. So basically you have 100 days here. If you clear prelims and then you are writing your first answer, it gets very difficult. I won't call it difficult, but people have written answers here also. So they are not writing their first answer here. They have written 50 answers here only. So I would advise you to write 5-6 tests in November or December. So basically this is June. This is June, right? This is July. So July, August के बाद you can join a test series in September or October and write a few tests in the last 2 months of 2023. Because after prelims you will be in a condition to not start from zero. नहीं समझ आया. Please be a bit loud. You're talking about anthro. I could not get the question. Archaeology you said something about. Huh. Go on. Huh. See. Yes, I got your question. So, anthro, there is a section of archaeology. There is something of physical biology also, physical anthropology, which has portions of biology. So people generally say that these two areas are more rewarding and you will get more marks. It is partly true, but if you don't know a question of archaeology, you should not attempt it. Archaeology is also very difficult to remember. So basically I made short notes, I made tabular form, particular Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and tools, climate and social life, political life, everything was in a tabular form, so that I was able to revise it. It's on my Telegram channel, this tabular form. So basically if you don't have this table ready, you won't be able to remember before the exam. So it is advisable to attempt answers from this topic, but if you don't have short notes, you won't be able to attempt. Optional choose करने में क्या क्या देखना चाहिए? So yes, is there any one of you who has not decided is optional yet? Okay, so there are few criterias. One is your interest. It's not in an order, it's random order. One is your interest. See the syllabus, see the PYQs, and just ask yourself if you will be able to study for 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, whatever you want. So interest, if interest is not there, it's very difficult to sustain it. It's first. Second is material ready. Materials should include books. It should have a set of books that people read. I mean, it shouldn't be like that you don't know which books to read. Anthropology mein we have a particular set of books that people do read. So we know that these 5-6 books are important. Online material should also be there. Online material includes selected people, notes, their test copies. These two things should be there. For example, anthropology mein we have these things. People have uploaded their copies, their test copies, everything is there. Third is size of syllabus, but you won't be able to assess the size of syllabus just by going through the, so it's not very important. Fourth is, there is no fourth. These things are there. In my case, I chose anthropology because I was preparing from my home, so I needed online materials availability. Anthro had that, and from my college, Akshat Jan Bhaiya had got a rank. So basically from him also I decided to prepare anthropology. Interest should be the foremost criteria, bhai. कॉलेज में नहीं पढ़ा था. Civil engineering I did not study in college. I'll tell you something. In my first forest service, my optionals were, in my second forest service optional were forestry and geology, which I am talking about so proudly. In my first forest service, my optional was civil engineering and agriculture. Nobody takes these options. Matlab, if they are not interested. In my case, I did not have the guidance, so I chose these two optionals. The problem with engineering optionals is that if you have not studied well in college, then after a point you won't be able to understand anything. 1 year, 1 साल 2 साल बाद कुछ नहीं समझ आएगा. तो अगर कॉलेज में अच्छे से पढ़ाई की है, so you will be able to understand even after 2-3 years. And one more shortcoming is, if your interest is not very much in these topics, so you are reading GS on one hand and you are reading civil engineering on one hand. These two are polar opposites. Civil engineering is solving MCQs. So interest नहीं है, so it becomes difficult. But interest है तो बहुत you get marks. काम आ जाएगा, लेकिन इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तो कहीं काम नहीं आएगा. Geography, in general, any optional, people do have this criteria also that it should overlap with GS syllabus. But in general, geography of GS1 does not have much overlap with geography optional. I think it might benefit people from geography optional, but the questions are not very specific. Questions are generic. GS is a generalist exam. The name itself is general studies. So questions are not very specific. Geography optional का knowledge you can use, but people like me can also understand and write the same answer. So बहुत फायदा नहीं होता है.
Sir, do history syllabus overlap with this GS?
Sorry?
History syllabus optional history syllabus will overlap with GS?
I don't know यार. I don't have
I
history.
also thinking of choosing
But that should not be the main criteria. I mean, because see the syllabus of different optionals and decide yourself. I mean, interest should be the first criteria, because optional, even if you go through the notification, it says bachelor level of, graduate level of understanding, some word is used. So it's not generally superficial knowledge. Optional, you have to read deep.
So some people, some guidance to make it, yes, you should choose that option that will be similar to syllabus of your GS.
Yeah, you'll have to talk to some history optional person. I don't know. Any other questions, please? Other people also can ask. They are not.
After your, so after your selection, if you see back, what do you think are the mistakes that you have done during your optional?
Optional, yes. First is covering every part of syllabus. All parts of syllabus. I did not do that in first or second mains. I very conveniently left some parts of syllabus because I was too tired or did not want to read that. The problem that our mind tells that you have to attempt 5 out of 8 questions, so you will be able to attempt. But the problem is, questions are not that question 1 will have questions all from section a particular topic, 2 from particular topic. Questions are jumbled. So basically, even if I am attempting question number 7, so it will have some questions from those areas which I have left. So basically, prepare every part of the syllabus, have notes on every part of the syllabus, and understand what people are writing these days. So basically, go through their copies, their notes, and understand what is working for them, and write tests. For optional, I think writing tests is very rewarding, because in my first 2 mains, cumulatively, I have written only 2 tests or 3 tests. That too I wrote in 2 parts. At my home, I used to write 1 hour 30 minutes, then moved out. Akhiri ka 1 hour 30 minutes again. So that does not pay off. Write in an exam-like condition, 6-7 tests, whatever you are able to, but do write it. So these 2 are major things that I complete every part of syllabus, write test.
Especially for anthropologists.
Have short notes ready, because it's also because 5 days gap is there. GS4 and Anthro paper 1 or optional paper 1, 4-5 days gap is there. It's very important to utilize that 4-5 days gap, because if you're not able to utilize it, the entire 1 year of preparation will get messed up in your head. If you have short notes ready for those 4-5 days, it does work. So have short notes ready, practice answers beforehand and cover every part of syllabus. And one more thing is that attempting the test will also tell you which questions to attempt and how to manage time, because optional time management is a different ball game altogether, because you have to choose questions in the same 3 hours. If you choose a wrong question, then you have to attempt that wrong question, means everything get messed up. So there will be question where you know, so suppose 3 parts of the question is there, right? Question number 6, let's say ABC is there. Question number 7 is also ABC. Let me tell you this. Question number 6, ABC is there. Question number 7 also ABC is there. 2 questions worth 15 marks are there, 1 question worth 20 marks are there, 15, 15, 20. Now you have to assess, because it will be very rare that you know every part of the question well, all 3 well. It may so happen that you know these 2 well, this 50%, these 2 well, this 50%. So you have to assess which combination of question will fetch me more marks. So should I attempt this or this, because here also you know this 2 well, here also you know this 2 well, this half, this half. So basically writing tests will tell you which questions to attempt, how to attempt, and how to manage time doing all that.
Is it better to stick to current affairs on daily basis or reading compilation?
Both work. I would advise to read current affairs daily, because you should get in a habit. You should get in a habit of reading newspapers. And yes, actually newspapers and notes making is not advisable. I would not advise it, because compilations do that work only. So make use of it, but reading newspapers and the habit of reading newspapers will help you in the long run, because prelims is like anything will be asked which you have read 8 months before. So basically your mind should be in a continuous mode of reading. People have done this, people have cleared the exam by reading compilations also, but just the right way to prepare is to read news every day, even if half an hour, but read news every day. How did I manage my time? For example, between prelims, mains gap, or in general. In general, so for example, if I am studying my optional first time, I know that it will take 5-6 months, 5 months, 6 months by self-study. If you are doing classes, it may take 3 months, 4 months, but making notes will take 5-6 months. So in that 5-6 months, I will give, let's say, 70% to optional, and rest 30% I will give to my GS papers. When this 6-month window is complete, my optional notes are ready, then I will come to other topics. So basically you will have to manage your time like that only. If you are reading optional, if you are preparing the basic notes of any topic, it will take time. Revision does not take much time, but preparing notes will take time. So if you are preparing notes of optional, then just GS 1, 2, 3 you should, channel in a way, but major time should be in optional. If you are preparing, so one topic, one thing should be major and rest thing should be minor. So you cannot, but this is only for the note making wala part. After a point you will be in a position that you have your notes ready, you just have to revise. That does not take much time. The initial foundation wala time take much time, because you have to prepare notes also. So that's why I am saying do what your classes are doing, because stick to that, they are doing this part. After a particular point, when you have your notes ready, then revision becomes easy. So for abhi ka time management, do what your classes are doing, just stick to the timeline.
Sir, you were asking 2 things, you were telling that we need to concentrate on 2 things at the max. So one would be, let's say, in-depth analysis of newspaper, and another is the subject that what's happening in class, or including newspaper 2 subjects.
Yes, including newspaper 2 subjects. Newspaper is not a subject, right? Newspaper initially might take 2 hours of your time, but essentially it should not take more than 45 minutes of your time. And बहुत elaborate note making from newspaper is not advisable at all, just because same topic of anti-defection will have hundreds of articles, and every article will seem very good. So you cannot make notes out of 100 of articles, and you will realize that there is a coaching compilation which is reading those 100 articles and making a one-pager note out of it. So you're making notes out of these 100 articles will not make any sense because someone is doing it.
I wanted the time duration. So you're saying in the beginning it takes 2 hours.
Yes,
and
it will
you
take.
should shorten out
45 minutes at max. At max. Anything, please? It is advisable after a point. So there are many variables that exist. Suppose you are not able to clear prelims thrice, then it's advisable to give another exam. If you are writing mains continuously and there is a scope of improvement, then it is advisable to focus on mains only. If your attempts are getting on a higher side and you are not able to, frustration is coming, or you are not able to, because for example if you are not able to clear prelims, then you have 1 year to do nothing to do. So in that case it is advisable to focus on one more exam and clear it. But if you are giving mains, then you have 3 months till next prelims comes. So after, I would advise after 2 or 3 serious attempts you should give another exam. Not 4 or 5 different exams, because every exam is comparative and you will not be able to clear just by sitting in any other exam. You have to prepare. 1 or 2 exams at max you can prepare and clear. But many variables exist depending on your age, attempt, financial condition, everything all at once.
So do you have a plan B?
My plan B was not exactly a plan B. I would have taught mathematics. I like mathematics in general, and mathematics also till class 12th wala mathematics. So I would have taught anywhere. I still upload videos on YouTube, so it's something which I would have done. It's not exactly a plan B. I would have given on any other exam also, but teaching mathematics is something which I would have done. You were asking something? Yes, there are exams. RBI grade B is a very good exam. What am I writing? RBI grade B. If you are good in mathematics, then you should utilize your maths ka knowledge in RBI grade B. Clear the RBI grade B and you will get a very good job. Other exams also are there. State PSCs, EPFO also people give. It can divert you. That's why I am saying cautiously decide. If you are getting closer to UPSC, do not give your attention anywhere else. But if you are not able to go through the prelim stage, then just for your own mental sanity, mental comfort, get something else, then your brain will calm down. Exactly. That's why I am saying. Give 1 to serious attempts to UPSC and you will clear it. The thing is, so many things will seem out of hand. UPSC preparation mein, you'll think this is going out of hand, this is going out of hand. Manage all that and you will clear the exam. That's all I know. That's all I have learned. And normalize that things will go out of hand. Normalize that you will feel before ethics paper that you have not studied, that you do not remember ethics. It will happen right before the ethics paper in the actual mains. But if you have done the serious hard work throughout the year, you will be able to write the answers. It's just your brain playing tricks on you. It happens. Anything else, please? CSAT, because I had engineering background, I did not prepare CSAT as such. No, sir. You can watch. No, I would not advise because I did not know.
Sir, your please for anthropology.
I will upload on my Telegram channel because I also don't remember. Ember, I could remember. Search Utkarsh UJJWAL AIR 68, you will find the channel. 7,000 odd subscribers. My name AIR 68. AIR 68 you will find. You will find 7,000 around subscribers there.
How is the life after cracking UPSC? How is it feel?
Same yaar.
Some people say it's kind of extraordinary.
I think you should stay humble even after clearing, because exam is not something which was in your mind, right? When you started preparing, you thought of serving or you thought of doing something for anything that you had in mind, education, health, women, children, anything. Exam is just the way to do that, right? So exam should not take the limelight. at this point you should feel very responsible that you are in a position to do it. So exam is just a way. You should be thankful, should be the word. I mean, thankful होना चाहिए and relieved भी होना चाहिए prelims नहीं देना मैंने. यार answer will be interview type answer, but that is what everyone should have. Before starting your preparation, there will be some personal interest, there will be some professional interest. Before starting the preparation, personal interest will be job security and whatever things that you can find, good life to your family or good life to your children, whatever things that you can think of. Professional interest, I think, are also extremely important. For me, professional interest was this. I knew that this is an area where I can work for 25, 35 years, whatever I have in service. Well, because if you have an aptitude for anything, if you utilize it in that area, you will do very well. So basically, I knew this is an area where I can do well. Second thing is also I knew that civil services will give you a position to take decisions or to be, I mean, it will give you a platform at a very young age. So basically that should also be a motivation for you, because you'll be able to handle so many things at once at a very young age. So that should be also in a and basically I would have liked, I mean, I would be in a position, but how policy works at the top or how decisions are taken, these things do interest me. So basically these four things are there. But personal interest, it's not bad to have personal interest because everyone will have. But professional interest also are very important, because if you're not happy doing this thing for 25, 30 years, you won't be able to do it. So that is a very important criteria to have. Anyone else, people who have not asked, please, or we'll wrap up. Okay, then thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. ये उसमें ही पूछ लेते हैं. Cadre preference is we have to fill in the DAF itself. Cadres, people who can leave, who want to leave, you can. So DAF में we have to fill different cadres and उस पे preference के हिसाब से मिलता है. So it's not something that we choose. It's something based on the vacancies that are open and what preference different people have opted. Rank does matter, but vacancies also matter. If suppose vacancy is not open, outsider vacancy in your state, then you won't, even if you get rank 1, you won't get. No, I just, next month I'll go. Thank you so much, bhai. Thank you so much. बहुत सारे लोगों को रोक के रखा था. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
It means a lot to me.
अरे भाई. All the best.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there any way we can contact you? Or
I forgot to write my email ID. Yes, I am perfectly reachable. Look, this is my Telegram ID. This.
your name and as you said, AI. Yes.
I have shared everything. I have shared my email ID. Everything is there. Just go through it. Everything is there.
These are the comprehensive notes.
बढ़िया notes हैं यार.
So I've made this based on PYQs.
So it should have things from every challenges, measures here. Everything should have points.
So I should substantiate under every point.
Yes, if possible. But whenever you are reading it, try to see if you can find any examples that any value addition, for example, is relatable to any point. Just write there itself.
Just example.
हाँ, this on this note just keep on rewriting things that you find relevant. This is your base note, उस पे rewrite. क्या करूँ? भाई ये सब नहीं है, ये तुम देना अगले साल ऑटोग्राफ.
बहुत अच्छा लगा सर. Thank you so much. Just came for the talk, sir. From Patna.
ना. My sister lives here, so I'm in Bangalore.
Sir, I wanted to know about your revision strategy for anthropology.
I should not share that.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what about the
तुमको मैंने कहीं देखा है क्या?
Sir, congratulations.
Thank you so
Sir, I
much,
am
sir.
from civil engineering background.
You're taking optional civil.
No, sir. Civil
Just
engineering
sharing.
Yes, I
background,
understand.
sir.
Next question.
Now I started preparing.
One more class is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Your class only.
Yes, sir. For the